saying no moss at halftime.
For one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McLarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Good morning and happy Thursday. Good to be with you today, 1 minute after 11 o'clock in the morning on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. It's halftime. I'm Phil Elson. Good morning, Matt Jones. Looking pretty once again. I don't see Christian Johnston, but I'm guaranteeing he doesn't look quite as pretty as you do today. And happy Copa America Day 1. I know the U.S. doesn't get started until Sunday against Bolivia, but our football stadiums across the country are turning into football stadiums of different type today. Got Argentina and Canada playing at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta later on tonight. So I know you got to be pretty fired up as you watch the Euro 2024, and now you got it on the other side of the pond here.
Keep it in your pants, Phil. I know I look pretty, but just keep your hands to yourself. Did you take a shower today? I know yesterday you said you didn't shower. We're not in the same room, so it doesn't matter as much to me, but can I smell you from here, or are we good?
Raise my armpit. No, I did shower today, so you wouldn't smell. Yeah. Got outside. Actually got outside for about an hour-long walk, so I'm going to tell you what, it's warm enough where you would have been able to smell me through the iPad if I hadn't showered.
I just talked with your boy Quinn and Coach Z for the last 30 minutes. So that was kind of getting the jump start and getting the juices going.
Hey, you're working early
I
today.
feel like I'm in hour 2 already. So
now that's an unpaid interview that you did too.
You know, those cats right there, you couldn't ask for 2 better cats to sit around and chat with. I mean, the only thing is they just talk so highly about you. It's like, quit giving Phil such a big head. You know, it's like Phil Elson's the best. It's like, I mean, he's going to start believing that if you keep lying to him, just like I start believing I'm pretty when he keeps lying to me every day.
All you got to do is sooner or later you got to have somebody that sets you straight about the person that you're talking about.
That's right.
There will be somebody
That's
that
right.
comes to me that tells me that you are not as pretty as I tell you are on a daily basis. And, hey, I'll be the one to tell you that if Quinn and Zim view me in a positive light,
Then you're winning. You're winning.
No reasons to look for the other direction.
Yeah, right.
Maybe more so than they do.
Absolutely. No, but it was a good chat and got to relive some old memories and just chat for a little bit and those two big. I like both those guys, so pretty cool.
I'm sure they tried to get. Did you guys talk about Hall of Honor?
That's what it was. It was 30 minutes of that and. It's always weird when you're talking about yourself, but it's a thing where it's a team sport that you play and then you get individual honors. And I never played for individual honors. You play for the team and you play to try to win. And I go back to something my dad said at an early age, and every coach I've ever had said this. You take care of the small things, you pay attention to the details, and you do that well. The big things, the awards, the champion, all that type of stuff, that'll come afterwards. So just make sure you take care of the little things, and that's what you can control what you can't control.
Well, what if I may be so bold, because I did watch you play at Arkansas, and I think one of the things that you also did while you were playing, and I don't know if this is something your father had told you as a coach, or if he just told you this as a father, or maybe he didn't say it, but it is something that I believe when I watched you play is. I think you enjoyed playing. I mean, I think you were out there having fun. You took it serious because it was a job, and I think you might have viewed it that way at Arkansas too. But why would you do it if you don't enjoy it? And I think you played with a lot of joy. Just like, when I'm in the booth with Zim and Quinn for football games, Zim is one of the spotters. I'm the other spotter for Chuck, and I'm hosting pregame, and Quinn, of course, is up there in the booth for the game, and everybody's having fun. I don't know why you would do it. You want to get paid, sure. We're professionals about this, but why do it if it's not fun? And that's what Quinn and Z do on the Razorback Daily, too. I'll tell you that. Another thing, too, you could take some notes from Quinn about talking about himself. The guy made a movie about his life and his family, so he knows what that's like. But he never does it in a way that makes it seem like he's grandstanding or anything like that.
No, he's a class act. That's for sure. And I want to say the last time he came on, I think maybe you were doing a baseball or something. He came on and he did a great job. It's I always give Quinn a hard time. I say when I first got there, I looked at all the records and I said, what's the best quarterback in rushing? It's Quinn Grovey. What's the best? I was like, those are the records I want. And he's like, well, you got there. I said, well, Quinn, I didn't quite get to 10 wins like you did, though. That's what we were trying to do. It wasn't about the individual things. It was about trying to get your team to 10 wins. And Quinn was he was a great one to do it, and had back-to-back 10-win seasons there for the Hogs right before we came over to the SEC. You have to have I kind of have a feeling with Quinn and the way he was running that offense that probably helped Arkansas get into the SEC, being able to win back-to-back 10-win seasons and all the success that they were able to have.
Yeah, Quinn still keeps that competitive fire going by being a dominant Madden football player. So I would also assume that he's going to get in on EA Sports College football now that it's being released once again. So I know you're not a video gamer, so you still keep those competitive fires out there. Do you play FIFA?
I used to play it religiously. No question about it. It's been a couple years I haven't. But the golf course, I guess, is and grocery shopping. That's if I go to the grocery store, I'm going to get better groceries at a cheaper price than you. That's one thing we talked about too, Phil. It's funny you bring that up. Competitors compete. You either have it or you don't. It's from a young age. Whatever you're doing in life, you're always competing to do the best. And
love this.
We got into the radio show talking about the job now, and I said, I don't know that I'm very good at it, but I know I'm gonna compete, and I'm gonna keep trying to get better. And you go back and not necessarily like the tuna does, go back and listen to the tape, but you go back and. If you think about a year and a half ago, or even back at the Buzz at the other place, you just hope each year you're getting a little bit better.
Tuna is definitely competing with, take your pick, with Eddie, with Cecil, with Greg in Farmington, probably with Brian in Ozark too. I think Tuna. Why else would he self-scout his phone calls on the show when the Eastside Liquor halftime podcast comes out?
That's right.
He is a competitor, and I can appreciate that. I don't know if I view myself as being very competitive at all. I just want to. Here's what I want to do, and if this leads to beating somebody for anything, but I'm not really competing for anything. Like the ratings, we don't really look at the ratings very much. I just want to do the best that I can, live up to whatever talents I have, and maybe supersede those a little bit, and enjoy what it is that I'm doing at the same time, which I do enjoy. Grocery shopping every once in a while, Matt, and I think maybe you and I, who are you competing against when you're the idea of competitive grocery shopping outside of maybe it being a game show or some kind of a shopping spree? I think there used to be a competitive shopping show that I'd watched. I don't know if it was a grocery.
Sweepstakes.
Maybe you and I can go receipt for receipt sometime.
That was one of the coolest shows. It was definitely in the 90s, Phil, but I was like, I would be the best at that. They get a buggy, I guess it's called a buggy, and you just run as fast as you can down the aisles and get as much food as you can. Yeah, I think
the thing is you got to finish the food too. You and I competitive eaters? I'm not too sure about that.
Well, I'll tag Joey Chestnut in. He'll be my teammate. And
hey, how about speaking of now that Netflix is getting into all things involving live sports? Eventually, I think they're going to be streaming an SEC game or two every once in a while. But did you see that the hot dog eating contest that Joey Chestnut is banned from because he has He's a spokesperson now for Impossible Foods, and the Nathan's Hot Dog Company is not going to let him compete. So he and Kobayashi, I think, are taking each other on Netflix. So Netflix is the place where you'll see a fight that nobody ever thought, well, you never would have pictured Tyson against Jake Paul, or I guess Tyson against anybody for that matter right now. That's in November, and I don't know when they're doing this hot dog eating contest, but it's on Netflix again. Netflix equals sports, and it doesn't just equal documentaries or anything like that. It's live sports.
Your boy Jake Paul, you bring that up. I think he's going to fight on the Canelo, the Zone, the Canelo channel that when he started that, but he's going to fight a bare knuckle champion who's like 8-0-1. I mean, this is It'll be interesting. I wonder if it's still
It's like Rocky
2-minute
versus
rounds.
Thunderlips all over again.
Man, a bare knuckle champion. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
You ever watch any of those slap fights? Do you ever see slap? Now I don't like subscribe to it, but I've seen
it.
It's popped up on
I've seen
TikTok
it.
every
Yeah.
once in a while,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking to myself, so this is what society has come to. I hope they're getting paid well. Are you allowed to show up 7 or 8 beers into one of these things and allow yourself to get slapped in the face?
You seen the movie Looper, where he's like, it doesn't entertain the smartest people don't sign up for this job. I think it's something like that. I don't think the smartest people are signing up for
You're
that.
going to be losing IQ points with every slap.
Oh my! I mean, I saw a dude hit and his whole side of his face swelled up like a grapefruit, and you're just like, man, for that $17, that was
There's people that there's like, yeah, that's what we're looking for. Way to go! And those were the people in his corner. Just imagine that. It has now taken me 11 minutes to finally get to Texas A&M versus Tennessee in the College World Series finals. Now, this is what I expected. It is no surprise. Everybody's like, all right, so who are you going to pick to root for here? Do you have to? Even if you're going to watch it. Even if you're going to, like, I'll watch this because I think this is going to be a spectacular series. I think A&M and Tennessee, these are the two teams that should be playing each other. They are the best constructed teams. They are the most balanced teams. And, I mean, they're also the most fearsome teams with the way that they're able to score. And I think it's going to be a great series. But I can't root for either of them. I don't. It's like, do you have, like, you know what I talk about? I feel like I need to have a rooting interest in order to watch a lot of games. I don't have a rooting interest in this. Maybe a personal interest just in the guys on the Tennessee coaching staff that I got to know when they were coaching at Arkansas. But I don't know if I'll be pulling for them or if I just think I'd like to see a 3-game series that goes 20 innings in the third game. But it's how many Razorback fans out there are going to, even the hardcore baseball fans, are going to watch this and take a rooting interest. And if you take any rooting interest in this, how do you choose one of these schools over the other? Because it's distasteful to me either way. You know, and I don't root for fans. I will root against some fan bases because of how distasteful they come across sometimes. Outside of that, it's two teams that have never won a College World Series that, I mean, A&M has been kind of, I think, knocking at the door a little bit here and there. Tennessee certainly, too, in the last few years under Tony Vitello, but these programs also were built to last. So I'm not rooting for any of them. I think there's some people listening right now that might have stuck their fingers in their throats when they saw what this series would be, and you can't be surprised. You can't be surprised by this. These are the two teams that, truthfully, I think were playing best near the end of the season. They both look really good in Hoover and have been pretty darn dominant in the postseason, too. Heck, A&M's undefeated. A&M is undefeated going into the College World Series championship, which is the first time a team has done that in 9 years. But I think they'll lose one. I think this is going 3. I think it'll be a great series. See, Matt, I delayed that on purpose. I think it's going to be a great series, but it is a series that still just like bums me out because here it is, another first-time champion out of the Southeastern Conference, and one of them is a program that Arkansas was like an inning away from winning a series on the road at College Station in the middle of May. And the other is a program in Tennessee that Arkansas swept last year. Didn't get a chance to play them this year, and I don't know how that'll go in. But it's one of those things that just felt inevitable when the series even not when the College World Series started, but when the tournament started, when the 64 teams got going. I think these are the two best, and here they are. I guess I should just be happy that I think we're seeing the best of the best out there instead of some Cinderella getting up there and maybe getting blown out a little bit, because I don't think there's going to be any blowouts.
Well, I mean, it's the one thing I guess you can say, Phil, that you won in some of these tournaments. It doesn't. It's a lot of times. I'll just use basketball for example, March Madness. A lot of times that championship game isn't between the two best teams, and so sometimes it can be lackluster or whatever. But the fact that you got the two best teams up there competing for the championship, that's pretty cool. I guess that's the only good thing you can look at.
Here's what we got on halftime on a Thursday. We got 3 guests coming up, including Brett Dolan in a couple of hours. you never know where Brett is located, so we'll see if he's probably is on the road somewhere. Danny West from the 24/7 Sports Network, hogsports.com, will join us getting into Arkansas football recruiting in about an hour. And after this quick break, we are joined by Bob Holt from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. So stay with us. Halftime is back in just a moment.
This is halftime. Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you tired of processed meat and flimsy sandwiches? Subchain's gotten to your last nerve? Then I have the place for you. Come see my buddy Josefa at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Locally sourced meat sliced daily and fresh breads from Harvest Moon Bakery. Daily specials announced on Facebook, including the Poke Bowl every Friday and Saturday. For to-go orders, call 479-567-3403.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology with the 2023 Buick Envision at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get financing as low as 0.9% for 36 months with approved credit and $3,500 in factory discounts. The Buick Envision. It's all about you and designed to inspire. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Pay attention. This happens fast. You're on the forklift in your warehouse when it breaks down. You call Medley Equipment Company. Talk to Debbie.
Hello.
Debbie tells you they'll get you moving again. Debbie talks to a service tech.
Yep, I can do it.
Tech says when they can be there. That nice Debbie lady calls you back.
Hello.
Saying your forklift will be fixed in a few hours.
Nice.
Pretty fast, right? We're just trying to keep up because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm branch manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
If you've been affected by the recent storms, Crabtree RV Center is here to help. Whether you need to rent or purchase an RV while your home is under repair, or you need repairs done to an existing RV, whatever your needs are, Crabtree RV is here for our Northwest Arkansas community. If you've been affected by the recent storms, Crabtree RV Center is here to help. Whether you need to rent or purchase an RV while your home is under repair, or you need repairs done to an existing RV, whatever your needs are, Crabtree RV is here for our Northwest Arkansas community.
Have you tried the TGI Friday weekday deals? On Monday, they have 50-cent wings, traditional or boneless, 10-piece minimum. Tuesday, cheeseburgers and fries with a fountain drink for $10. On Wednesday, Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta for only $12. On Thursday, enjoy a half a rack of ribs for only $12. Stop by and check out the weekday deals at TGI Fridays, I-540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. In here, it's always Friday.
Win one of 4 premium grills during the test drive giveaway at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. It's simple. Test drive any vehicle, new or used, at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. And you are entered to win a new premium grill. No purchase necessary. Find new Ford F-150s with up to $5,000 off. Pre-owned vehicles up to $10,000 off. It's the test drive giveaway. Win one of 4 grills at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Should start with Bob.
It's time to talk with the unique individual.
You said you and Diva are OGs, old guys? Brett, you spoke so positively recently. I mean, did you expect this to happen?
He's a man of mystery.
Why you always talk about Arkansas? But go ahead.
Well, why do you always talk about Kentucky? Hey, it's Bob again. I think I'm unmuted now. I figured it out. Man, you win the lottery 3 times, get to go to Starkville.
A man whose incisive questions and rapier wit.
Hey, John, but I had a 2-parter if that's okay. What did you mean? I'm sorry. I'm not that hip. Man, we got to get the Packers straightened out. Losing to the Jets, that ain't in Lambeau, that ain't good.
That placed him on the Mount Rushmore of Arkansas sports writers.
What do you think about this?
Sure, Bob. The future in that, yeah.
Here he is, the one and only Bob Holt.
Hey, guys.
All guests join us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, and the one and only Bob Holt with us, as he usually is on a Thursday. Hey, Bob, how are you today?
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing all right. Do you ever take a rooting interest when you're watching college athletics in games that don't involve the Razorbacks?
Sometimes I do. It kind of depends on if I know people involved or maybe what my interaction with them has been like. Generally, I just like to see good competition. I don't think, unless you have a rooting interest, you really don't want to see lopsided games. But yeah, so sometimes I do, or maybe you root for a storyline or something like that, or there's some human interest element to it.
I mean, I'm rooting for myself when it comes to the Major League World Series, just because I want to see the thing go 7 games and go extra innings in the last game, because I don't know what the heck to do with myself outside of that. When it comes to the College World Series, I think I probably do more rooting against than rooting for when it involves SEC teams. So I'm trying to work out in my head here who to root for between Tennessee and Texas A&M. I know guys on Tennessee. I like the radio guys for both clubs. I could do without both fan bases for most of it. I don't know who to pull for here. Are you rooting one way or the other?
I think I'd probably like to see Tennessee win because Tony Vitello was here. I like Tony. I know he draws a lot of strong emotions from people. Some people love him. Some people maybe think Tennessee's a little over the top. But I always liked Tony personally. I do like Tony personally. I think he's a hell of a coach. He's been very adamant that Dave Van Horn really helped his career, hired him and bringing him here, helped him get the Tennessee job. Obviously, Tony's taken that and run with it. But he helped Arkansas get to a World Series. And you got, some other guys there. Josh Elander was here at Arkansas. And, of course, Tony's a Mizzou, a true son, a true Tiger from old Mizzou, from St. Louis. And so, I know Tony personally. I'm not saying we're best buds or anything, but my interactions with him have always been positive when he was at Arkansas, and talked to him a few times since he went to Tennessee. And so I really like Tony, and he's a Mizzou guy. So now if I was covering the game, I'd have to be neutral. But if I'm just watching on my couch, I'm go Rocky Top,
That I couldn't.
Or
Even if I'm
whatever that is.
Even if I'm rooting for Tennessee, I'm not going to go with the Rocky Top thing because, if you go there, you know what it's like when you go there to Tennessee. And Matt, you know what it's like if you go there to Tennessee. How long did it take to get Rocky Top out of your head?
Well, it took a little longer to get Jason Witten running down the middle of the field out of your head after that one. But yeah, that atmosphere, they're a different breed there. But it's kind of A&M and Tennessee, I would say, are both a little bit off. They're like always on, slightly off.
Yes, that's right. That's probably the best way to put it. Yeah, I think you're rooting for Tennessee because of the Missouri aspect of it. Because it's okay to root for your alma mater. You can't do it when they're playing Arkansas, but you got to do it quietly.
Well, yeah, I just like Tony, so I'm not going to lie about it. I like Tony. I hope he wins.
Well, and another thing about this, I think these are the 2 best teams. Kentucky had the second seed. That doesn't, to me, mean that they were the second best team. But in a sport that's as random as baseball and as difficult to predict as this is, look at this. I really do think these are the 2 best teams once the tournament started. And I know Arkansas, won the division over A&M, but you could kind of see that things weren't going quite the direction that we were hoping they would. But it's kind of rare when you see literally, I think, the 2 best teams standing at the end of a baseball season.
Yeah, you're right. I think they were playing real well. You looked at, especially Tennessee winning the SEC tournament, which a lot of times you think, well, I don't know if that's good or not because you kind of wear yourself out. But obviously, and their back was against the wall over against Evansville. That Super Regionals tied 1-1. Really, all the pressure's on Tennessee, but they come through and have a big win in Game 3 of that. So, yeah, and I think it's good. Both teams went 3-0 through their brackets, so equal amount of rest. like they'll be able to set up their pitching. You know, you got to give the Aggies credit. You know, Braden Montgomery, one of the best players in the country, you know, gets injured, and still they get to Omaha and have gotten to the finals. So, you know, both have really good deep lineups. Both have good pitching. Both have good bullpens. So I just hope it's a real good series because, you know, last year I guess LSU won 2-1, but my recollection is all the games were lopsided. And so hopefully there'll be some close, exciting games like we had, you know, the first couple of days of the College World Series where we had these one-run walk-off wins. I mean, I'm looking forward to hopefully some really good baseball.
Yeah, both teams have offenses that could really, you know, get out ahead if you let them. But there's something about the A&M pitching staff where I'd just be surprised if that happens. You know, it's been a couple weeks since Arkansas was eliminated from the tournament, and already 10 position players have transferred in. You get 5 junior college players. You get 5 Division I transfers. You had the shortstop Maximus Martin announce he's transferring in yesterday from Georgia State. This morning, TCU outfielder Logan Maxwell announced that he's transferring to Arkansas as well. And I tell you, you looking at the numbers from these guys, it's exactly the way that Dave Van Horn is exactly what he said he thinks his team needed going into the next season. Because there are guys that are hitting for power, but then there are also guys that aren't power hitters. They're more contact-oriented guys who get on base, who run, speed. And it looks like they're just trying to rebalance things a little bit more offensively. And they needed that this last year, too.
Yeah, and on paper, of course, you don't know how, like a guy who played in Wisconsin, Milwaukee, or you know, but a guy like Aloy comes in for Sacramento State, you know, leads Arkansas in home runs and RBIs, I believe. So, and a lot of these guys played against, you know, they may not have come from power conferences, but they played some power teams. And I think Dave and his staff do a pretty good job of evaluating players and you know, getting feedback from scouts or coaches or whoever. And I guess that's one advantage. Maybe the only one of not getting to Omaha is you get an early jump on the recruiting. If they were in Omaha, I know they'd be recruiting their tails off too, but you are able to get probably recruit at a higher pace if you're not playing. That's just the reality of it. So you hopefully are in Omaha again the next year. But yeah, it looks like Arkansas is putting together another nice class.
You know, the main topic yesterday was Willie Mays and his life and his career and his impact on, I don't think just baseball, but on American culture mostly. And you got to use the term icon carefully, because not all the great legends, not all the Hall of Famers are icons. Willie Mays was. What did you think when you heard that he'd passed away at age 93?
Well, it was sad, obviously, and I don't know if people were aware of this. Well, he's got a nice column on today, but a lot of us got to meet Willie Mays. When I say us, I mean the Arkansas media. Back in 1989, he and Mickey Mantle were both working for a casino group in Atlantic City, and Willie Mays came to Little Rock to kind of promote, you know, junkets or whatever, trips, you know, to Atlantic City to have fun gambling and stuff. And so he was there that weekend, and Wally got to show him around some and brought him to the Arkansas-Houston game. That's back when that was the year '89. Andre Ware was Heisman Trophy winner, and Arkansas won the Southwest Conference, and Quinn Grovey had a great year also, and they had a big shootout at War Memorial, and Arkansas won, I believe it was 45-39. Willie Mays was in the press box, and so we got to meet him and talk, and he couldn't have been nicer, and he was posing for pictures. Didn't think to bring a baseball to get signed. Should have tried to find a football, I guess. But so I thought about that one personal experience with him, and of course, just what a great player he was. When I was a kid growing up, he was kind of on the back end of his career in the late 60s, early 70s. But, you know, I was looking at his stats. Even in 1970, I think at age 39, he hit like 28 home runs and drove in 80 runs. And the next year, it was wild. He led the league for the only time in the walks, 112 walks, 40-year-old batter, 112 walks. And so, just a guy that really could do it all. In terms of great outfielder and great base runner and hitting for power, hitting for average, and just not only a great player, but super exciting and just knew how to connect with people. And you could tell how much fun he was having. And yeah, for my money, the greatest player ever.
I kind of wonder, and this is something to kick around later as we go throughout the show, who is the greatest living ball player now that Willie Mays has passed on? And there's a few of them you could throw out there. You got anybody you would think would be top of the list now, still living, greatest living ball player, Bob?
Well, it probably depends on your feelings about steroids. I mean, certainly in terms of production, yeah, I think you have to put Barry Bonds up there, who I think was a Hall of Fame player without the steroids, but that's an argument for another day maybe. Yet Johnny Bench, probably the greatest catcher ever. Sandy Koufax, I know he didn't have he had a pretty long career, but his prime was about 5 years before he had to retire at, I think, age 30 because of arm problems. But for 5 years, he was probably the greatest pitcher ever. So I'd probably put, Barry Bonds, and if you're not interested in steroids, probably Sandy Koufax and Johnny Bench, and Pete Rose, all-time hit leader, and played a bunch of different positions. I'd probably put Pete Rose in that too, although not the greatest living human, but maybe the greatest living ball player.
What about the Ryan Express? Would you put him on that list or not really?
Well, yeah. I mean, I know some people knock Nolan Ryan because he didn't have a super high winning percentage. But imagine if he played, for the Yankees or those real good Royals teams or the Dodgers. He played for a lot of so-so teams or frankly bad teams. When he was with the Mets when they won it all in '69, he was just a rookie or young guy. And, yeah, you can make a case for him. I mean, just the production and the longevity. I mean, nobody's got close to 5,000 strikeouts but him. Yeah, that's a good thought. Oh, by the way, congrats on your UA Sports Hall of Honor impending induction. I meant to say something about that. But, yeah, Nolan Ryan, I mean, there's like I say, depending on how people feel about steroids, but Roger Clemens had a great career. Derek Jeter, great careers, played a premium position at shortstop. But for my thoughts, I'd probably lean towards Bench and Koufax.
You realize Nolan Ryan and Willie Mays were 1 year apart being teammates on the Mets in '72. Ryan was traded to the Angels. He started his Angels career in '72. If you can imagine a team with both Nolan Ryan, heck, not just Nolan Ryan, Tom Seaver, and Willie Mays, that might be near the top of the list, even as old as Mays was at that point. Hey, U.S. Olympic trials are starting tomorrow in Eugene. The athletic department sent the email out today. 36 athletes, either current Razorbacks or former Razorbacks, Arkansas alums, will be taking part in the U.S. Olympic team trials in Eugene. So this kind of goes along with the theme we got into a bit last week, Bob, but it's a big number. That's a lot of Razorbacks there in Eugene.
Yeah, that also includes a handful who train here who are pros. But, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I don't have that complete list for other schools in front of me, but I have a hard time believing that any other school is taking the firepower that Arkansas is. And obviously not all those folks are going to make the Olympic team, but I think, several of them will, and they're going to be competing for it for sure. If you look at the Track and Field News, which builds itself as the Bible of the sport, they do a form chart. You can find it online. I think, as a matter of fact, there's a link in that release. But there's many Razorbacks in the top 10, and it always doesn't go to form. So who they have the top three probably aren't going to be the top three in every event. But just the 400 alone, Kaylin Brown, an Arkansas freshman, she has the top time in the United States. Now that doesn't mean she's going to finish at the top of the trials and go to Paris, and Rosie Effing, who's a Razorback, has the number 2 time, I believe. And so, and then obviously Amber Annie and Akeisha Price, they run for England or Great Britain and Jamaica, so they're not at the U.S. trials. But after Arkansas cleaned up in Eugene a couple of weeks ago, the women win and the men getting 7th. It's like another Razorback invasion in Oregon, and I think it's great publicity for the university and the program and Northwest Arkansas, the state of Arkansas. People can say, "Wow, that really is the track capital up there or out there in Fayetteville."
Bob, appreciate your time. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll visit next week. Thanks, man.
Okay, sounds good. You guys take care.
Thanks, Bob.
Bob Holt, Democrat Gazette, with us each Thursday on Halftime. It's your chance to dial us up or text us on the McLarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. We'll be back in just a moment.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Get up to $6,000 off on the 2024 GMC Sierras, or $4,000 off and as low as 1.9% financing for 36 months with approved credit at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2024 GMC Sierra has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Up to $6,000 off, or $4,000 in discounts and as low as 1.9% financing. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and coming soon to Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. This was my baby.
it's gonna drive me crazy.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I don't know if Kristen Springdale's daughter is a fan of Madonna, but we apparently helped turn her into a big fan of Styx because Chris won a couple of tickets to the Styx Foreigner concert last night while he was listening here on Halftime yesterday. We gave out 4 pairs. He says, my 9-year-old stepdaughter is Styx's newest fan.
How cool.
It's
Makes
it's
me
an
happy.
accomplishment. Yeah, good.
How cool. Could be
How does she feel about Madonna? Is Madonna doing a show at the Amp anytime
She
soon?
probably has a residency in Vegas, I'm sure.
Probably got a residency somewhere in France.
Yeah. I mean, she's a gangster, that's for sure.
But is she still doing the English accent thing? You know, I've been watching the original Star Wars movies with my daughter. We put on Empire Strikes Back last night, and man, somebody informed Carrie Fisher pretty quickly in the first one in A New Hope. You know, that whole fake English accent you're doing, it's not working very well. Just go back to how you usually sound. She didn't try that anymore. Even like halfway through the original Star Wars, she stops using it because she realized it was awful.
You know, have you seen the show House with Hugh Lowry?
Mm-hmm.
So he's really a British guy. He's really from you from London. See, I can't do it, but he changes he can do the American accent, and what's funny is his pops was actually a doctor, and he's like, I made more money playing a doctor on TV than my dad, who's actually doing good in the world being a doctor.
Yeah, funny how that works out, huh? All he had to do was also practice limping and using a cane in order to do that, and the American and whatever American accent he used, because I don't remember what it was. All right, so Brett in Fayetteville is rooting for the Vols to win it all. He says Vitello ain't leaving Tennessee for Arkansas. I never thought he was going to leave for Arkansas anyway. 3 years ago, when people asked the question, is Tony going to leave leave Tennessee for Arkansas when DVH retires? I thought to myself, first of all, we're looking a little far ahead. You're planning way too far ahead because I don't see DVH retiring anytime soon. So for some reason, this still gets thrown out there. People still ask this question. I saw a sports anchor 2 days ago ask the same question. Why does anybody think that would actually be a thing now? There's no way. Calvert says Tennessee. He's rooting for Tennessee because he can't stand A&M. There you go. So it's more like, who do you dislike more, or who do you dislike less? I mean, I'm as petty of a sports fan as it gets. When my teams get knocked out, I always root against the team that knocks him out. Now, the last time the Hogs made the College World Series, Matt, 2022, they lost to Ole Miss. I'll root for North Korea against Ole Miss. Okay, so it didn't matter who it was that they were playing, but in that case, I rooted for Oklahoma, but I would have rooted for them nonetheless. When the Pirates lost all those playoffs, the national championship series in the early 90s, when the Reds beat them in 1990, I was instantly an A's fan. When the Braves beat them the next 2 years, you bet your bottom dollar I was rooting for the Twins and rooting for the Blue Jays. Got myself a hat of the Blue Jays, in fact, for just that very purpose. When the Steelers were defeated when the Steelers lost to San Diego and Stan Humphries in the AFC title game, I wasn't even a 49ers fan. I just didn't want to watch the thing because I knew it was going to happen in that Super Bowl. That's the kind of sports fan I am, Matt. It's just pure pettiness.
No, if you beat my team, I'm going for the other team too. I heard this joke on Carson about North Korea. They said, you know what the hardest job in North Korea is? A police composite artist. It was on Carson last night. I was like, that's kind of funny.
Carson? You're watching you mean Fallon?
They have there was another dude. They had Christopher Reed on last night, but the night before, that was like a filmmaker. And you could tell that he was a filmmaker. But he's interesting. Carson's pretty funny, man. I've been watching a little Carson lately.
I could tell you've got a Carson thing on your mind. I wondered why it was that you sent me a Carson GIF yesterday.
No, that was just me taking a picture of my TV while what was on the TV.
You're showing me what it was you were watching.
You were having some scrumptious looking.
Oh no, it was a really good drink.
It looked like it would be like you would get it at Churchill Down or the Kentucky Derby or something. You know.
Yeah, it's not a mint juice, not green. It was red, but yeah, you're right. It was. I'm actually going to try to get the ingredients to make this myself later tonight. It's a Negroni, gin, Campari bitters, and sweet vermouth. And it tastes a little cherry-like. It's really good. There's a restaurant just down the street from where I live that bottles it themselves and lets you take one on the road if you buy a meal. Now, I had that chilling in the fridge for last night. I made my daughter, who's going to camp this weekend, made her request of pasta and meatballs with a red sauce starting with a mirepoix. We'll teach you that at some point if you need. And I got this drink out, sent Matt a photo, and I thought, you sent me that because it felt like a classy drink, and Johnny Carson epitomized classiness.
It certainly was. No, that's it's just interesting to see some of just to see the time period and see how they act and just the jokes and how it's just pretty. It was pretty funny. Yeah, kind of transports yourself back there. It was pretty good.
Television was fun then, right? You an Ed McMahon fan then?
I don't know anything about Ed McMahon, and like I said, I might have seen 10 episodes of Carson, and they've all been in the last couple of weeks. But it's you start watching, you're like, man, I see why he had that job for so long, huh?
Did you get a chance to see him do the Great Karnak yet?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
That's when he put the big purple hat on, and I think he would. Is that when he would say that the answer was sealed inside a hermetically sealed mayonnaise jar, and he would figure out what the answer to the question was? Yeah,
they were doing a picture book saying this is what you do if you're from not in America and you're looking to find this thing. And the first one was a turtle, and then you're like, well, what is that? And they're like, the post office. They were doing stuff like that. Yeah. The next one was McDonald's hamburger when it was 2 buns with a horse, and they were like, oh, is this the lawsuit? No. We're not saying McDonald's uses horse meat, but this is just it's for the joke. Does that do good? We're out of the lawsuit now?
Oh, man. Dan in Mount Ida is right. Yep, mirepoix, carrots, onion, celery. It's the start of every great Italian, most great Italian sauces. 877-377-6963. If you want to get with us on the McLarty Daniel hotline on halftime, we'll be back to wrap up hour number 1 in just a moment.
This is halftime. Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
accessories.
Andy White first. Big old slab.
Come get you some. Has one of the
C'est
largest mobile
bon,
shops in the
Sacalé.
States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest
It's a
on-road
paper
machines
mouth.
in the country. Call them today at
Some serious
782-6833. That's
Nice
782
spec.
or check them out online at CGYS.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, Whiteford, Slab, Sockeye, Papermouth, Crappie, Speck, Crappie Baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BLEAV for your 50% and welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in DeQueen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you. Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle. 377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Let's take a look at the McLarty Daniel text line here. We got one in from, I don't know who it is, but it's out of the 479. Jared. Jared asked this. He likes Dave Van Horn's approach for recruits right now. Seems he's looking for small ball and average and on-base percentage and not as much power. Here's the thing. You got to have both. You can't just have one or the other. I think you got to have both. The thing about A&M, look, they're not a small ball team, but they have guys who can run. They have guys who can hit it over your head, but they also have guys who can run. They got a couple of base stealers too. When I'm looking at the guys who are coming into Arkansas right now, there are power hitters here. There are definitely power hitters. Kuhio Aloy, Charles Davilan, Carson Hansen. These are all guys who very well could hit double-digit home runs next year for you. And you got a couple of guys coming in, four of them actually, from junior college who had big power numbers in JUCO. It's just a matter if that translates to the SEC. But then there's also guys that can run and specialize in getting on base and making contact, thinking about the new shortstop, Maximus Martin, thinking about the new outfielder who committed this morning, Logan Maxwell, more walks than strikeouts in the Big 12 last year, a guy that can run. Maybe there's a little more power there from him. This outfielder that they've got committed from Florida Southwestern State, junior college, started his career at Georgia, Justin Thomas. He had 14 home runs with 21 doubles and stole 35 bases last year. Now, that's junior college. Again, will it translate to the SEC? But this is somebody that can do, looks like he can do everything. Same with the guy Davilan, who's maybe a first-round pick. I think he'll be your center fielder next year. So I just don't think you can look at a team that I think in a lot of people's eyes, for some reason, you think that they're just always trying to hit home runs, and I don't think that was the case this last year. But I do see them taking more of a balanced approach. I think there'll be a little small ball next year, maybe more. But I also think they got guys who can hit it over your head, and you have to be able to do both. You look at anybody that's in the College World Series, and they hit home runs. That's just how it is. It's okay. It's okay. And there are guys that are going to strike out too. The home runs go along with that. And there are guys that might not necessarily hit for a lot of power, hit some singles and turn it into a double by stealing second base. But out of these 10 position players that have announced their transfer into Arkansas for this next year, there's power, there's speed, there's high on base percentages, and it's exactly the kind of things that I think can get Arkansas back to the promised land next year. 877-377-6963 if you got any extra thoughts on that. Hour number 1 coming to a conclusion here. And in our second hour, we switch over to football, at least for the first couple of the segments, because we have Danny West from hogsports.com joining us. Got some defensive line commits to Arkansas a couple of days ago. We'll look at the recruiting class, and we'll see if Danny thinks that there are any current Razorback signees who are on campus right now that can make a difference as freshmen. 877-377-6963 as we go into the second hour. We can take your calls, look at your texts when we come back after the break, so stay with us.
Get up to $6,000 off on the 2024 GMC Sierras, or $4,000 off and as low as 1.9% financing for 36 months with approved credit at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2024 GMC Sierra has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Up to $6,000 off, or $4,000 in discounts and as low as 1.9% financing. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 Fort Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Dallas Street Dental. Refuse to compromise when it comes to replacing missing teeth. Dr. Bill Ligon at Dallas Street Dental can make your smile look, feel, and function almost exactly the way it did before you lost any teeth. In some cases, even better. Dental implants function like your natural teeth and make it possible for you to enjoy those juicy steaks this grilling season. Look younger and smile with confidence with dental implants from Dallas Street Dental. Schedule your free implant consultation today at 479-452-6600.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, mostly sunny sky. Our high this afternoon will be in the upper 80s to near 90. Partly cloudy sky, upper 60s overnight. We should see another sunny one on Friday. Our high on Friday in the low 90s, and Saturday sunny skies, highs in the mid to upper 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 70 days.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it.
If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're gonna go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Name of one Razorback.
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Here we go. Right now, let's go to the field.
Call or text on the McLarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Welcome back. Hour number 2, halftime, 1 minute after 12 noon on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson, Matt Jones. The C Unit is in the chair producing the show at the moment, and we'll be talking with Danny West in a little bit. So if you got any recruiting questions for Arkansas football, text them in right now on the McLarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Matt, I've got to go back a day because I know we were off a day yesterday, and I think it's sometimes like you will ask your I don't want to say the word because then she'll shout at me or something, but you know the Amazon device, ask how many days until, and you'll get the answer, and then I hear on the countdown that we're playing on ESPN Arkansas that I think they're going by a different number, so we got to be on the same number. Today is 70 days until Arkansas football. And the countdown continues. Are we allowing ourselves to start looking ahead all that much? Camp isn't all that far away. I think it's less than a month for media days. Not like there's ever any news at media days, but that's when we'll. I know they're already sort of part of the SEC, but that's also the beginning of bringing in of Texas and Oklahoma actually joining the league and speaking in front of everybody. So. You know, it's still the end of the college baseball season, right at the middle of the regular baseball season for MLB. But you can start. I've already been making my plans, man. I've been yesterday I booked hotels for the road games, so I'm already starting to think about it a bit.
Usually, 70 days out, you should be working out right now. I always took summer classes, and a lot of the kids did. I don't know how they do all that. I don't know how they do all that now. But do you hear that?
Yeah, I got you. You're good.
Oh, okay. It's like I hear something in my ear. But then you do your summer classes, you work out, and then you get about a week off around July 4th or so and then you come back and then you get about a week to 10 days off before camp. That's kind of. So the guys should be working out, and Don Decker did a great job with us. I don't know who the strength and conditioning coach is now, but they should be up there getting it in right now.
Yeah, is there really ever an off season? Just like you just
get a week off here, a week off there. Yeah, that's right. You got to stay in shape, Phil. I mean, you see these kids. You see the ability and how tough it is and how competitive it is. If you take too much time off, you're falling behind. The old saying is, you never stay the same. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. And so if you're not putting the work in, somebody else is.
It's got to be important to focus on the individual for the athlete right now, isn't it? Because for us in the media, you're looking ahead to what the season can look like. You're starting with the UAPB game, going on to Oklahoma State, talking about position groups and who can improve and where does the team need to improve and all the different players that have transferred into the guys that you've lost. If you're a player on the team, I mean, you're not looking at the schedule, are you? You're not planning ahead. You're just kind of trying to get better on a daily basis, like you say. And it's not necessarily like looking ahead for anything that might happen in September or November or October. That's sort of missing the forest for the trees, and the trees is the day that's right ahead of you, right there in front of you, and then camp. You can't right now. They can't even worry about camp.
That's the date you circle, Phil, is the day of fall camp. What is it? Is it August? Is it July? When do you report? When do we go and Coach Nutt would do so good, even if it was the veterans. You know, I don't know how the rule back when I was there. Your first 2 years, you had to stay on campus, and then you got to move off campus. But during camp, we were all back. We were all in it was Walton Hall back then. I'm trying to think where everything's changed, but you were all back into the spot, and then after camp you can start doing it. But it's pretty cool, Phil, because not all the other kids are there at school. It's just kind of you guys there. And you get real close, you know. It's almost you get tired of their stupid face, you know, because you see each other every day. And then by the time camp's over with, you're ready to hit. You're like, give me any other color but red and white so we can hit. You know, it's like you're ready to see somebody else and go to war.
I hope you're not, you know, tired of my stupid face or Christian's over there, because it is a daily basis. You know, when you played 4 years at Arkansas, so it's like coming back for that fourth year and even the third year, but it's different when you're a junior and you got seniors on the team. When you are the elder statesman, when you've been around longer than anybody else and you play in your position, you know everybody's looking to you. I was looking at the roster right now, and you know, there is no senior quarterback. And from everything you're reading, from everything we're hearing about, Taylon Green has taken on the mantle of leadership for this team in the locker room, on the field, and all of that, just by being in front of his teammates, like in front of their faces, talking with them on a person-to-person basis. You know, I was looking at the rest of the club.
I don't know if there's a quarterback that's taken an SEC snap on our roster, you know, in the two deep. If you're looking at our two deep,
that's true.
You know, and you bring up a really good point about Taylon Green. I mean, they usually have guys and they continue to grow, but he just got here, and you know, you jump into a locker room and even if you don't like it, the quarterback is a leader, and I think you always have to be authentic. Because whatever your leading style is, if you start lying or start not being real, man, they start seeing it and you lost them. You know, you got to be 100% real and be honest. And when you're that, and especially when you're a senior, when they say, you know, the meeting's at 6 a.m., the meeting's at 5:55. You know, you got to make sure you're always on, because everybody's looking at the seniors. You're exactly right.
Wasn't that Tom Coughlin? And he's not the only one who ever did that too. But I remember that from his time with the Giants. You get to show.
Is Phil cutting out? Can you hear him? You kind of were cutting out right there. Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't know what's up
at all. And you're looking at the quarterbacks. This is one of the youngest crew of quarterbacks, maybe in the country. I'd have to compare to the rest of the SEC, but yeah, you're right. Nobody's taken a snap. In the SEC and Arkansas, you have four freshman quarterbacks. Three of them are red shirts. Blake Boda, who's coming in from Coastal Carolina. Austin Ledbetter, who's been a pitcher and not played football since high school. Malachi Singleton, who redshirted last year. And you got the freshman KJ Jackson coming in from Montgomery, Alabama. And then there's Taylon Green. You know, he's in his fourth year, a couple of years playing at Boise State. So you're right. This is a young quarterback. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but, you know, you always look to that position for leadership, and it feels like there's probably four guys there that need to be led, you know, and hopefully they're watching whatever Taylon is doing, because assuming at some point one of them may end up being your starter, whether it's Singleton or Jackson. It feels like one of those two may be the guy in the future.
Phil, you're exactly right. There will come a point, every single season, every year I was up there, that for all 4 of those years, but every single season there will come a point where the backup quarterback's going to take a meaningful rep. It might be 1, it might be 3 games. You don't know. But the backup quarterback he's going to play sometime or another for whatever reason. It's just the nature of the game, so you have to be ready. But they got a good one, I think. As far as an X's and O's and somebody people would pay money to sit in a room and listen to Bobby Petrino talk offense, and so they're getting paid to do that. It's why have the times changed.
But as far as guys that have had experience playing at Arkansas, the two that have the most experience on this club are Hudson Clark and Eric Gregory, who both, of course, were Razorbacks as freshmen, true freshmen, and are both in their fifth year now playing. So that's where a lot of the leadership may end up coming from, certainly defensively. On the offensive side, it's a rebuilt group. It's a rebuilt group, and it does sound like Taylor Green has the kind of leadership that you're hoping for. 877-377-6963 if you have any thoughts on that. Bill in Van Buren says KJ wasn't a leader. There might have been moments last year it felt like that, and Nate thinks it's going to be a tough season.
I'm not putting that all on KJ last year. You can't put that all on KJ.
Also brought to you by Wood Power Sports. When you're looking for your next side-by-side motorcycle, ATV, or zero-turn mower, don't look any further than your local Wood Power Sports store. They're in Harrison, Springdale, and Fayetteville with over 9 brands to choose from. If you can think of it, I'm going to guarantee they've probably got it. Can-Am, Polaris, Kawasaki, Yamaha, CF Moto, Suzuki, KTM, Hustler, and Honda. At 3 convenient locations, they provide outstanding service and parts capabilities and even offer deliveries. WoodPowersports.com to learn more. That's Wood Power Sports, a solid name you can trust. Danny West is also a solid name you can trust. From hogsports.com, he'll join us on Halftime right after this break.
This is Halftime.
It's like Clark Kent. This guy is dominating offensively. Indeed, he's also a quality guy. We had more fun talking with him. He was a walk-on. Now he's an All-American. He also is brilliant. He's a great student. Last week he got his MBA. The guy is just what top football is all about.
I've been called everything. Clark Kent, Kurt Rambis, Drew Carey, you name it, I've been called.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BLEAV for your 50% and welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot.
It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill.
So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Conneray Drive in Queen, Arkansas.
Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you. Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All guests join us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, and joining us right now from hogsports.com, part of the 24/7 Sports Network, is Danny West, recruiting expert, and always great talking with you, Danny. It's been a while. How are you?
It's been too long. I'm doing great, fellas. I appreciate you having me back on with you.
Well, it doesn't look like it's already been a great day for Arkansas football recruiting because Carius Kern made his decision, and he's going to LSU. Originally committed to Arkansas and now chooses the Tigers. Is this the way you saw it going, or does this surprise you?
Yeah, pretty much ever since he decommitted, Phil, it looked like LSU. Matter of fact, I want to say the first few days after his decommitment from Arkansas, I think that's when you started seeing the crystal ball start to roll in for LSU, coming off of a visit down there in Baton Rouge. And, it's kind of been a roller coaster with Carius a little bit. Obviously, his commitment lasted, 5-6 weeks? And then from there, Arkansas got him back on campus last weekend, 2 weekends ago. And he told us at the time, coming out of the Arkansas visit, I think Arkansas is back on top and probably not even going to take that trip to LSU next weekend. Lo and behold, he takes the trip anyway, and now he's committed to LSU. So you can kind of follow and see how this thing is going up and down and every which way. So that's why I say this, Phil. It's not over yet. I know he committed to LSU today, and that's great. Wish him nothing but the best. But this one, fella, is probably going to be going for a long time, and he's well worth it, in my opinion. He's Matt. He may be one of the best in-state linemen since Sean Anderson.
Oh man,
that's a mouthful.
That's saying a lot, man. And
I know it is, but this kid's a stud now on both sides of the ball.
Man, Danny, I'm hoping we get back. What do we have to do to get back to keeping our in-state guys? I know everything's changed with NIL, but it seems like last year in football, I know if it's need, if it's our coaching that we keep change, it's position coaches change and relationships change with certain players, or if somebody kind of gets lost in the shuffle. But I think we got to get back to when we got in-state talent that can go. We got to keep it in-state. How do you think we get back to keeping all our in-state guys?
It's really tough, ain't it? Especially with Arkansas being a state that doesn't produce enough talent for them to be losing guys like, Courtney Crutchfield, Carius Kern, Marcus Wimberly now, Walker White, quarterback in last year's class, choosing Auburn. And then you look at the schools they're going to. That's the other part of it. Auburn, Missouri, LSU. That gun, man. I mean, you're not just losing them, but now you got to see them too, So, boy, we could talk for an hour about this, Matt. How do they keep from doing that? You got to go win with what you've got. I think winning ultimately trumps just about everything in recruiting except NIL. NIL obviously is a big deal, and I think there's still a few shortcomings that they've got to address in that regard. But ultimately, man, I think it comes down to winning, and losing has consequences. We talk about it all the time. You are coming off of a 4-8. We tried to tell you last November and October even, man, it could be a rough stretch there in the 2025 recruiting class if Pittman is retained, and sure enough, they kept him, and that's their right. I still love Coach Pitt. I pull for him. I hope he wins, but I just felt like there was going to be some consequences, especially after a year like that. And now, on the flip side of that, you got to go prove it and prove that you are still going to be around for a while. And the only way to do that is to win and shut up some of these negative recruiters at other schools, because make no mistake, guys, same kids that come to your campus are going to Missouri and LSU and A&M, and they're being told about hot seat and 4-8 and all that. That's what's got to change. And the only way to change that narrative and to get off the hot seat is to win. So that's the good news for Arkansas. There's still plenty of time. It's only June. December is not until 6-7 months away from now. So still got a chance to go out on the field and quiet some of the critics in the recruiting trail.
We talked, Danny. We talked a little bit about the running backs, and there's a freshman coming in from Benton, I believe. Has your ratings changed? I guess what I'm asking is, with some of the kids that have come in and you actually got to see them in spring ball, who's kind of some of the newcomers that impressed you that you think, man, this guy's going to be playing this next year, and that maybe a surprise? And then I guess that defensive end from Parkview, is he's probably going to get some playing time as well too?
Yeah, I would think so. First of all, we'll start with Braylon Russell. Matt, I think, we had him as a 4-star. I felt like he was going to be pretty good, but I'll be honest with you. When he got on campus in January, I saw him for one time, and I said, man, he's too big. And I worried about his weight. And then he checked in at like 250 at one point, and I said, yeah, he's dang sure too big. And then I go out there and see him a couple of times in scrimmages, and I say, no, he's not too big. That's what he is as that type of running back. You throw him out there in the flat, one-on-one, he's probably trucking the guy, but he's also got a little wiggle. He can get around people, too. I mean, he's not just stiff back there. So I like him at that size, and honestly, I probably like him a little better now after seeing him in spring versus the ranking, this time a year ago. So Braylon's up there for me. I like the defensive backs that they signed last year, Selman, Bridges, some of those guys in the back end of the secondary. You mentioned the defensive end coming in, Charlie Collins. That's an in-state guy that they did get. We often talk too much about the ones leaving the state, but they've held on to a few of these in-state linemen here lately. And Charlie, I think at some point, right now he kind of looks like a freshman out there, still trying to figure it out based on what we saw in the spring. But it probably won't take him too long. He's probably going to start moving up the depth chart if I had to guess. But I really like that 24 class. It was well-rounded, in my opinion. They got a little bit of everything, but I really like the secondary and some of the skill guys that they got.
Who in the secondary do you like out of this recruiting class that's on campus now?
Yeah, I talked briefly about Selman Bridges there, but I'll tell you, there's a few of them in there. Tevis Metcalf is, he was a 3-star younger brother of T.J. Metcalf, and, of course, they're both cousins of D.K. Metcalf. Long bloodlines going there, really strong bloodlines. Tevis comes in as a guy probably going to slide into the nickel spot, but could play safety, a true safety position. I was impressed by him in the spring. Both of those guys are really physical. The Metcalf brothers, that's the first thing that jumps out to you. Probably not the most, they're not going to draw 5-star type comparisons as recruits, but they've got plenty of athleticism. But both of those guys, you can start to see them already making a move up the depth chart. And wouldn't shock me at all if both of the Metcalf brothers are on the field at the same time quite a bit this fall.
Danny, what's your feeling on Omarion Robinson from Parkview? Safety, maybe top player in the state, undecided at the moment, and judging by your reaction a moment ago, I'm not sure if you think he'll end up at Arkansas.
Well, it's going to be a tough one if they go 0 for 2 in this short amount of time. I mean, he's scheduled for a June 29th commitment, so what is that, 9 days out now? Obviously, he's already taken his official at Arkansas. The good news is you've got his quarterback on the commitment list already. They've taken Quentin Murphy from Parkview. They've offered 5 kids total, 4 of them for this 2025 class at Parkview, and another 2026 for next year. And Omarion, probably the biggest headlining type guy on that list, a composite 4-star safety. We've got him at about 6 foot, 175, but really a do-it-all type player for Coach Brad Bolding at Parkview. You asked me what I think, buddy. I know he's high on LSU, Oklahoma, Oregon. I think Georgia's still up there in the mix for him. But in the end, this is probably another one that's going to take quite a while. I'm trying not to avoid answering your question directly, but I do think Oklahoma and Oregon are going to be really, really tough competition for Arkansas. But in the end, I would probably lean Arkansas. It just seems like the type of in-state, especially with that program down at Parkview, most of them end up coming around to the Hogs. So in the end, I like Arkansas, but who knows in 9 days from now what he might decide. I could see it going to Oregon or Oklahoma, but still think Arkansas is going to be in the right spot in the end.
I know there are a couple of defensive linemen that committed to Arkansas on the same day. I saw Caleb Bell is one of them. Keandre Johnson is the other. And Bell's got NFL family lines there. His dad was Kendrell Bell, linebacker at Georgia. I remember him from the Steelers. He was an NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. So he's got the DNA, that's for sure.
Yeah, and played for the Chiefs, too. You got to throw that in there. He played for the world champs. But, yeah.
I'd forgotten that part of it, Danny, yeah.
Caleb Bell, 6'3", 270, good-looking kid. We got to meet him last week, and I think he's 57th ranked in the country defensive lineman. That puts him at about an 88 grade overall. That's borderline 4-star, so he's going to have a chance to move up throughout the course of the year. But this is one of several that Deke Adams has kind of gone to work and made quick work of in short fashion. That's kind of been the trend for the defensive linemen that we've seen on Arkansas's board. They go after them maybe a month or two ago, offer them, get them on campus for an unofficial this past spring, follow up with an official here in June, and now they've stacked up 2 or 3 in a row here. Same goes for Eric Mateos on the offensive side. You've seen all 3 of his committed guys jump on board this month. So really been a jam-packed, action-packed month for recruiting on the line of scrimmage for both of those guys, Deke and Coach Mateos there. So I like Caleb Bell, a lot to like about all of them, but you asked me about Keandre Johnson out of Terrell, Texas as well. Not a huge guy, 6'3", 230 edge rusher type, but another guy with plenty of offers and a lot to like there. So not going out and getting the 4- and 5-star types just yet, guys, but I like what they're doing. Some of these Georgia-type defensive linemen, we've seen that work in the past. Matt, you can speak on that going way back 20, 25 years ago now. Coach Nutt used to go into Georgia and find some hidden gems. We've seen the Malcolm Shepard types and, all these types through the years. Sam Olajubutu there, Matt, you played with him. A lot of those 3-star types get overlooked, might be a shade or too short or, may lack 10, 20 pounds. You get those types in the program, develop them, could have a pretty good player. Now, the key is holding on to them. It seems like now you develop them and somebody else offers another $100K, and here they go. So the key is trying to get them and then hold on to them long enough to develop them.
Yeah, Coach Nutt was a great evaluator of talent, no question. And speaking of Butu, and I think about our linebacker that left to go to Ole Miss, how do you think we're going to be just at that linebacking core unit? Are we because we're usually pretty solid. It's usually nothing I don't really ever worry about our linebackers, but I usually don't worry about our offensive line either. And we saw how that went last year. Are we going to be okay at that linebacker position?
man, I could sit here and tell you yes, but what does that really mean? I like some of what they've got right there. They brought in Xavier Sori, obviously former 5-star type, plenty of athletic. He's a freak, but he's still working his way into the position too. He was always a stand-up guy coming off the edge. Now he's being asked to, take on a little more linebacker stand-up type responsibilities, read and react type stuff. So that's somewhat of a question mark. I love Brad Spence. I think he could be a guy that you circle right now and say, all right, he may be in for the type of breakout type season that we've seen, in the last 10 years out of some of these linebackers, like a Spate, Dre Greenlaw, Scooter Harris, some of these types. But I think he could be a tackle leader type. But then, man, you're going to have to rely on some of these true freshmen. And the good news is you've got some good ones coming in with Wyatt Simmons, Bradley Shaw. Neither one of those guys went through spring, so now you're trying to play catch-up going into fall camp. But, Justin Logan, he was in for spring, and I think there's a lot to like about him. He's going to blow up and be a big man in a hurry if I had to guess. But they're going to have to rely on some of these freshmen, and that's a heavy ask, in this league at any position, but especially at linebacker too.
Danny, just to finish on something you had hit on earlier, just why does somebody decide to go play at a certain place? And for years we would talk about guys that get guys to the NFL. We would talk about facilities, fan support, and of course the winning that would go along with it. Now you've got NIL that's thrown into this as well. And you're talking with these kids. We're not. You're talking with them. I think you have a sense of what's important to them, and you said how important it is for Arkansas to win games, just as simple as that, to market yourself to the kids that you want to play for you, that you come here and you win. I think kids want to win games, but when you talk to them, how much of a factor does it feel that NIL is, that a few extra $1,000, is that enough to get somebody to commit to one place over another? More so than winning? Because I would think winning might trump things at times.
Sure. Yeah, it's a great question, and I'll be honest with you. You'd be surprised how little it comes up in our conversations with them. Now, that's not to say they're not talking to coaches and staff members behind the scenes, but when we talk to them, they never offer up any type of, signals or any type of hint that maybe that might be a deciding factor for them. But it's kind of the unspoken thing now. We just all know it, and it's quite an assumption to make about somebody, but the statistics show like a lot of these guys are bouncing all over the country, and whereas they used to not do that. So what does that tell you? NIL is at play for a lot of these guys, right? But yeah, we don't talk about it too much. It hardly ever comes up, but it's always there. And you ask about numbers. Every situation is different, I would say. I mean, there's still guys out there that couldn't care less about NIL, and I think they really mean it when they say that. And, they kind of back it up. They say, man, I'm going wherever it's got what I want to major in, or, what I'm interested in doing, or what really feels like home to me, or the NFL model, who's proven they can take my position and make them into an NFL type. There's still that type of kid that exists. I just talked to a couple weeks ago that visited Arkansas from Utah and all these places out west. They say, I don't care, what they're offering me. I'm trying to go to a good school and play at the highest level. So that still exists, but boy, I hate to even put a percentage on it. I would go well over half at least, are coming down to NIL at this point, which is crazy. It's why that transfer portal is filled up so often. I mean, when you're basing all of your decisions on dollar signs, it's going to catch up with you, and most of the time it happens really quickly. First 6 to 12 months into a guy's new home, he quickly realizes, man, there's more to it than an initial paycheck,
Okay, so this really is the last thing, and as an avid Arkansas baseball fan, your view on Texas A&M versus Tennessee, do you pull for anybody? Do you watch it all, or do you just act like it's not even happening?
And I'm kind of to the point now, Phil, I'm going to act like it's not even happening. I'm to the point where I just want to close my eyes and I'll be honest with you, I was pulling for two ACC teams. I always liked Florida State and North Carolina. And I love both of their uniforms. I think there's, some similarities between those programs and Arkansas, having been knocking on the door forever and not quite getting there. So those were the two I was pulling for, and now I'm just I couldn't care less. Good luck to both of them, but I probably won't be watching it.
It's a tough place to be, man. Danny, thanks so much for hopping on. It's great to talk to you again.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Danny.
That's Danny West, hogsports.com, part of the 24/7 Sports Network. And it's always great getting him on here on Halftime. If you want to react, 877-377-6963 for the McLarty Daniel Hotline. We'll be back in just a moment.
This is Halftime.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal.
Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
All right, people, let's get this meeting started.
Where are the chairs?
Gone. Research shows standing meetings are quicker.
What research is that?
Topic 1. CDW helped us deploy Mac supercharged by Apple Silicon for the way we work now. So how's their speed?
Fast.
Battery life?
Long.
Cyber threat protection?
Strong.
Ownership costs?
Low.
Great. This meeting
Adjourned. Wow, that was fast.
Yep, that's the research.
With Mac configured by CDW, a solution that works for everyone isn't just possible, it's powerful. Find out more at cdw.com/getmac.
This is Halftime.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel Hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BLEAV for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you. Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
This video.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Matt Jones, you play much stickball growing up on the streets? Did you ever get a chance to play that?
Well, we would do this. I had a 6th grade baseball coach, David Moore, and he would take a broomstick, and you would take those little balls that look like ping pongs, but they have holes in them, and we would practice hitting those. So if that's similar to that, that's about as close to having a stick and a ball.
Willie Mays was famous for playing stickball in the streets where he lived. In Manhattan while he was playing for the New York Giants. Christian, you got that soundbite queued up. Play that for us, please.
Willie, you did something that not too many players do. I want to go back to the film. This has got to be 30 years ago. The Giants were still in the Polo Grounds. And you used to play you used to play stickball with the kids, right? Yeah. Right in the street.
Yeah, that's where I used to live at 155th Street in St. Nicholas Place there, yeah. And what we did there, I used to play stickball before I went to the ballpark and after the game, and we used to have ice cream. So Leo used to give me the money before I used to go there to get buy the ice cream, so we had no problem to keep me off the street. So I enjoyed it very much. Yeah.
I love hearing him talk about it. There's so much just in that 30 seconds of Willie talking about it on the Warner Wolf show in 1975. For one, his manager gave him the money to buy the kids he was playing with ice cream. His manager gave him the money because he wasn't making enough. Leo DeRocher gave him the money. Keep in mind, Leo DeRocher was also banned from baseball for a year because of associating with gamblers. And he would play stickball in the streets after playing a day game at the Polo Grounds with the kids in the streets. You could just imagine the scene, and I watched the video of this, and there it is. I mean, it's on, what did he say, 155th Street? There's dozens of kids all around him, all of them wanting to get the opportunity to throw a pitch to Willie Mays, who maybe 3 hours before had hit a home run against the Brooklyn Dodgers or whomever that came into the Polo Grounds, and then he used a broom too, Matt. He was swinging with a broom. That's how those kids played stickball in the streets then. That's what my dad did growing up in Queens as well. I played stickball. It wasn't in the streets, but that was a great game. It was a lot of fun. It makes me feel like I'd love to round up all of the neighborhood kids around here and get a game going. Although I don't know any of the kids around here because parents don't like you to know their kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Marty McFly and Doc Brown relationship, that doesn't really fly. These it's like, what's a 17-year-old doing hanging out with a 55-year-old man every day?
Just making sure that the dog is fed every day, pretty much. Isn't that what it is? Yeah, we used to have catches with the parents in the neighborhood. We had catches. My dad would go out and I'd play catch with him and with parents from across the street. Stickball was more reserved for like backyards, not necessarily on the street. Now we'd play street football because the street is narrow and works perfectly for it. But in stickball, man, that was you hit a ground. It was basically one-on-one. You didn't have like a team of people. It was one-on-one. It's the only one-on-one baseball I ever played, and we played it on a blacktop, basically up against like an outdoor racquetball court, and a ground ball that got past the pitcher is a single. A line drive that hits past the line that's behind the pitcher is a double. A fly ball that hits the fence is a triple, goes over the fence, home run, and if you hit it on top of the snack bar at the community pool, it's a grand slam, even if you don't have 3 men on base. So you could legitimately hit an 8-run homer. That was the best way to come from behind. Down 16 runs in the third inning, couple of 8-run homers just got you right back into it.
We used to, there was the old gym at Butterfield Junior High, and my sisters and my pops, we'd have a home run derby that you would do. And same thing, wherever you hit it on the wall, if you hit the mat, it's worth this amount of runs. If you hit it atop the scoreboard, it's that, yeah.
We did home run derby at camp, but it was with tennis balls and tennis rackets. Almost there. If you couldn't hit a home run with a tennis ball and a tennis racket, what are we even doing here? Those things would fly. And every once in a while, someone would bring out the racquetball, which you could hit it. You could hit a racquetball 1,000 feet with just the right swing, the right tennis racket to go with it. Yeah, you could hit that sucker about 1,000 feet. Let's see, some text coming in. Dan in Mount Ida says you can't even pet anybody's dog without asking now. Yeah, that's. I think you're right about that. And JT, I'd noticed this morning. I was listening to the Morning Rush, and they have Jonathan Papelbon coming on the show tomorrow. You remember Papelbon, closer for the Red Sox, longtime pitcher in the big leagues, and a guy that might have had the scariest disposition on the pitcher's mound during his time. I have no idea how they got Jonathan Papelbon for tomorrow. I wondered about that because I don't think he has a connection to Arkansas, so I don't know what that's about at all. Let's see. Chandler asked, "Did you ever play wall ball?" Was wall ball called paintball for some others? You know, you get everybody that's standing there in a line. Everybody's got a ball, a tennis ball. Everyone throws it against the wall. And anybody that doesn't catch the ball on the bounce back then has to run to the wall. And then everybody's just allowed to throw their tennis balls at that person while they're running to the wall. Is that the game I'm describing here?
Similar version of that game. We would play, there might be 5, 6, 7 of us, and you'd have one tennis ball. And as soon as you didn't really have, I guess every once in a while you might have multiple tennis balls, but you'd have one. And same thing, if you dropped it, you had to run and touch the wall, but everybody could pick up that ball and throw it at you. But once you touch the wall, then you're safe. And then if you miss, or if you hit somebody in the head, or there's certain things, or you have to go up there and they get a free shot, like a penalty kick, from like 12 yards. Yeah. Hit you right in the back of the calf. You'd have a whelp till like third period.
Oh. But proud of it at the same time.
That's right.
You're getting a chance to get somebody back from that, no matter what. Hey, we're brought to you by Riley Farm Dental. Doctors Davis, Sparkman, and Farmer giving their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental helps you with general dentistry, braces, implants, cosmetics, and same-day crowns. They're at the entrance to Riley Farm off Highway 71 in Fort Smith, 5901 Riley Farm Drive, Suite A. Riley Farm Dental available at 226-3500 or RileyFarmDental.com. Back to wrap up hour number 2 after this quick break.
This is halftime.
Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology with the 2023 Buick Envision at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get financing as low as 0.9% for 36 months with approved credit and $3,500 in factory discount. The Buick Envision. It's all about you and designed to inspire. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
Hot summer soon gives way to fall hunting season. And with the new Arkansas Early Bow Hunt, now is the time to get your new Hoyt Alpha X or the Carbon RX-8 dialed in. Check out the new Lift compounds from Matthews, the bow that puts aluminum in a new light. Sub 4 pounds and shooting 348 feet per second. Jelco Outdoors, your full-line archery store in the River Valley. Get ready for fall bow hunting at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
Need a little extra cash? Go see Rusty at Golden Gym Pond, 310 West Center in Greenwood. Get the money you need with loans on jewelry, guns, tools, and electronics. If you're looking for a gift, they have a large selection of jewelry to choose from, and Rusty can take care of all jewelry repair. Stop by Golden Gym Pond today, 310 West Center in Greenwood, or call 996-2792. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 9 to 3 on Wednesday. Golden Gym Pond.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
At Our Best Bank, we believe in the power of community. That's why we recognize, serve, and support communities of all kinds. From small towns to big cities, business startups to large companies, young families to seniors, and those with shared backgrounds and interests. We value your contributions and are proud to work alongside you because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Our Best Bank. We believe.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Where'd you go? Your mind, where did it go? I still want you back. Kilimanjaro, I'm so ready to blow. It's just money. Right across while the river flows. Burning volcano. 19 million years before. Where'd you go, Grego? Where'd you go?
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Short segment here to wrap up hour number 2 of Halftime. We'll do that with a phone call on the McLarty Daniel Hotline from Brad in Fayetteville. Hey, Brad, thanks for calling. What's going on?
Hey, guys. My question is for Arkansas football recruiting. If Pittman can't get the best guys in Arkansas, how can he turn it around?
It's a really good question. I mean, I don't know if there's an answer to that. I would think that Arkansas needs to have not all of them, but certainly most of your best athletes, most of your best players in the state to stay in state. Otherwise, you got to convince kids to come from outside the state or do it through the transfer portal. And right now it feels like you're trying to do it through the portal for this year.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you very much, Brad. 877-377-6963 for any thoughts about that. I can't get inside these kids' minds, Matt, but you win games at Arkansas for kids that grow up in the state. They know about the passion of the fan base. They know about the facilities. I would expect most of these kids have been to games in Fayetteville, been to camps in Fayetteville, and they know what it's about. But they want to play where they're going to not just have an opportunity to play, have an opportunity to play and win.
And according, just having the Danny West, always a joy having Danny West on field. We got to get him on more often. But it's the new wave though, the NIL, and I don't know, how much if 50% of these kids are going just based on what the best deal is. Then that's that's just the new wave, and I guess you can't fault the kid. I don't know if somebody's saying you're getting 50 grand or you're getting 60 grand, or if somebody's saying you're getting 50 grand or you're getting 300. What's the biggest? How much does it have to be more substantially to go ahead and make that move? And then some of the kids they want to go to college, and the truth is, 1% of these kids are going to go on to the next level. And so I think they're trying to take advantage and make as much money as they can in college, because that will be it for them. I mean, only 1-2% of these kids go on and play in the NFL.
I would also think that, it's tough to get NIL dollars from donors if you can't point to wins. It's just kind of like the vicious cycle, you got to be able to point to return on investment, which I don't know if fans ever thought about it like that before. We go into hour number 3 of Halftime. You can get on with us, 877-377-6963. Brett Dolan joins in about 20 minutes, and Halftime is right back.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel crick hopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The crick hopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel crick hopper.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Are you in a constant battle with mosquitoes outside your house? Well, stop smacking yourself in the face and call Mosquito Joe. Whether it's playing ball with the kids or cooking out with friends, Mosquito Joe treatments allow you to enjoy your yard without the nuisance of pesky mosquitoes, ticks, and fleas. No more itching and no more wasting time on smelly bug sprays that don't work. Visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com or call 479-202-9960 to get more information and a free quote. With Mosquito Joe, outside is fun again.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South C Road, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Hello, this is Mike Giacomo at Arvest Bank, inviting you to join us in the fight against hunger during Arvest's 14th annual Million Meals campaign. All the money goes directly to our communities, and there is no amount too small. Even just $1 provides 5 meals to those in need. Now, through the end of the month, you can easily make a monetary contribution at your nearest Arvest branch. You can also donate online at arvest.com/millionmeals. And if you're an Arvest customer, you can go directly to Arvest Go mobile app. Arvest makes no representation that any contribution is tax deductible. Please consult your tax advisor.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, mostly sunny sky. Our high this afternoon will be in the upper 80s to near 90. Partly cloudy sky, upper 60s overnight. We should see another sunny one on Friday. Our high on Friday in the low 90s, and Saturday sunny skies, highs in the mid to upper 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 70 days.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well,
Bill said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
from the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
But they even one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's go to the field.
Call or text on the McLarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Welcome back. Hour number 3, halftime, 1 minute after 1 o'clock on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and the C Unit, Christian Johnston, producing. You might be C-spotting this weekend. I think we've remembered that we assigned him train spotting for this weekend to go along with American Psycho from last weekend. I got that one right. That's his movie for this weekend. So looking forward to hearing a review about that on Monday, and definitely things to avoid in life when you watch that movie, C-Unit. No doubt about that. We'll be talking with Brett Dolan in about 15 minutes. College World Series, Major League Baseball, other things that are going on in the world of sports. I think you see that there's been an injury to another pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles. This time the injury is to Kyle Bradish, UCL tear. 4 torn UCLs on the pitching staff for Baltimore, and yet they're in the division that's the tightest between first and second place. Game and a half behind the Yankees after beating them yesterday 7-6. And I can't help but think with the trading deadline next month that Heston Kjerstad could be on the move because the Orioles need pitching, and they've got plenty of outfielders. They've got bats. That's why Heston is not with the big league club right now. He continues to be back at AAA. And I don't know. I have a sense that Kjerstad's going to get traded. If he does get traded, it may end up being to a team that's not contending, unfortunately. The White Sox have a couple of pitchers that they're looking to unload. Garrett Crochet, former Tennessee Volunteer, probably top of the list. I could see Kjerstad, hey, at that point, he'd be the third Razorback on the White Sox, but it would also be a dead last club. It's an opportunity at that point, Matt, to be like, all right, well, he's not going to be able to crack the Baltimore lineup this year. It might be tough to crack that lineup next year. But it's a great organization. They're set up for a long time. They've got ownership that you can get with. I'd say on the south side of Chicago, it's anything but that. But that's where the playing time is for him, potentially.
I don't know the market as much as far as maybe basketball, NBA, NFL. I kind of understand that a little better than the baseball market. What is his value? Like, is it 2 starting pitchers? Is it 1 starting pitcher and a reliever? What? Because he is a young and up and coming prospect, and he has, like, his ceiling could be an all-star. You know, like he could be an all-star player for everything. But we kind of know what he's gonna like. He has potential to be really good.
Yeah.
What would his market? What would it be worth for Baltimore to trade to get him for?
Well, part of it is also who's got the leverage here, and it would be the team that's trading the pitcher to the Orioles, because they're the ones that need the pitching. The Yankees, they just got Garrett Cole back. I think they have other injuries that they've dealt with, but they just got the reigning Cy Young Award winner back, and he looked pretty good yesterday in a no decision against Baltimore. So I would think if Kjerstad does get traded, he goes in a package. He goes in a package with another prospect or two, and maybe one of the guys on the big league staff, and maybe it's like a 3-for-1 kind of a deal. Would be the way that I'd see it. But I also think it's just like, you don't get to choose where you're traded when you don't have a no trade clause. You don't want to just spend all this time at AAA hoping at some point that either they don't sign one of their outfielders to a long-term contract or that somebody gets hurt. You want to go get an opportunity to establish yourself in the big leagues, and I just don't know if Baltimore is that place for Kjerstad. So I'd see something like a 3-for-1 sort of a deal. But it would be kind of neat. I mean, think about this. You could legitimately see a situation, if he does go to Chicago, where you'd have Benintendi in left field, Fletcher in center field, Kjerstad in right field. Although I think Fletcher's been playing more corner outfield during his time there, but that could be like an all-Arkansas outfield with a major league team. That'd be pretty cool to see. Well, who knows if it'll happen, but I do think Christian at some point will be not Christian. I think Heston will be on the move at some point. I only said Christian because I've got a text in here. Somebody likes our assignment for C Unit for the weekend.
Instead of the Chicago Black Sox, it could be the Chicago Whitebacks. Like the Whitebacks. So we kind of have the Razorback flair to it, but you still keep the white part of the White Sox. So it could, the Razor Sox. Yeah, that could work too. Yeah.
He's sad news coming in here from the entertainment world. Donald Sutherland passed away today. I saw his son Kiefer put an announcement out on social media. Donald Sutherland passed away at age 88 this morning. I just introduced my son to the movie Animal House, in which he plays the professor that Karen Allen shacks up with, and I think he also introduced the students to. Remember when he asked the question, "Does anybody want to smoke some pot?" That might have been the first movie that I saw Donald Sutherland in. But he also, there's nobody that looked like Donald Sutherland. He had those eyes. He had that demeanor about him. And I just can't imagine anybody would have been more perfect to star in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which he definitely did the year after I was born. So pour one out for Donald Sutherland, one of the great actors of our time. Hunger Games, Kelly's Heroes, MASH. I mean, just stopping with those 3.
The Lawman Bass Reeves, I think, was what the project he was doing now. I remember. I mean, the Hunger Games. That's big time and stuff. But the Mechanic, which was a Charles Bronson remake they did with Jason Statham. That one, he was in that one, which was pretty cool. Ben Foster's in there.
The list goes on and on here. I mean, not movies, but movies that we love, that we either grew up with or you can't wait to just go back and watch again. Backdraft, Time to Kill,
Backdraft,
the Dirty Dozen. I mean, and I mean, you had told me he was just signed up to what was it, star in a TV show, or was it a movie? What was
Bass Reeves, The Lawman? I think that's based in Fort Smith. Are there some ties there? I don't know if they're filming it in Fort Smith.
Cold Mountain. Yeah, it's an Outbreak. This is Clute. Just, I mean, an amazing list of movies.
It's Cold Mountain, Jude Law, and
right.
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah. And who was the actress that you said you didn't really like very much? Why am I forgetting? She was she was
what movie?
Renee Zellweger. That's who it is.
Oh, not a fan. Not a fan. Yeah,
she's in that.
She does good work. I'm not saying that anything. Just there's not a fan.
Yeah, Donald Sutherland dies at age 88. 877-377-6963. Yeah, did I? One of the things I've enjoyed during the show today is, Matt, watching your reaction to whatever's happening in
England.
Euro
Might be
2024.
I mean, seriously, they're not even trying. It's pool play. They've been gross to watch. They're sloppy. They have so much more talent. Denmark definitely wanted it more, but it's a draw. Both teams get a point. They probably go through. Pool play. You're trying to go through to the knockout stages. Obviously, they got some talent, but man, they're very vanilla, very bland. Just almost just playing like it's a false offense where they're not really trying to attack, but if they have the ball, they don't have to put the energy out on defense. But they're not pressing, they're not trapping, they're not trying to get it back and do. They're just kind of going through the motions, trying to say, hey, we're going to let y'all make a mistake, but we don't want to be the one to make the mistake. But they do not look like they're it. But I'll tell you what, Phil, there's one coming up here in about 50 minutes, Spain and Italy. Both those teams. Italy's the defending champ, and Spain's one of the favorites for this. I mean, that's going to be Galacticos all over the field.
So that's 2:00.
2:00.
I know what you'll be doing at 2:00. That's for sure.
2:00. I miss, I miss about the first 20 minutes of it or so, but yeah, be able to catch most of it.
You ever listen to soccer on the radio?
Absolutely. There was a show called the Football Ramble back when I was in Little Rock, and it was dudes from Ireland and England talking football, and I can't.
No, I mean a soccer match.
And I can't even understand.
To the
If I'm driving and going somewhere and there's a big time game on, yeah, I'll find a way to put. I don't have all the accessories, so somebody else will have the phone, and we'll use theirs.
The two sports that I've listened to, it's three actually. When you talk about play-by-play, and it isn't really even play-by-play, that I sit there and think, man, this is amazing to listen to. I've been doing play-by-play for baseball for 25, 27 years, basketball for 15 or 16 or so, and done 7 or 8 years of football. But like listening to, it can't be play-by-play. It would be stroke by stroke of golf. Fascinates me. I would rather listen to it than watch it on television. And it's the same. Like I used to listen to play-by-play of volleyball when I lived in California at the University of Pacific in Stockton. They had they still do have a volleyball program that's got a lot of fans, and they put every match on the radio. And then the other one was listening to Motor Racing Network. The first job I had in radio in East Pittsburgh, they ran MRN. I am not a motor racing aficionado or fan of any sort, but man, I was riveted listening to these guys on every turn. I think soccer would kind of interest me too, but that's probably more, just because I like listening to people do play-by-play of sports on radio, because that's what I do. Matt Blackston likes Bass Reeves, very good series. He likes that it's got a lot of Arkansas history in it. Matt texts in the very same thing. Yeah, a lot of folks here really enjoyed the Bass Reeves series. And Chris in Springdale asked, do you prefer the 1978 Body Snatchers or the 1956 Body Snatchers? I've only seen the one from 1978, so I'm going to have to go back to 56. Matt remembers listening to Eli Gold on MRN. Yeah. I heard Eli on MRN too. He's now doing arena football in Nashville after being unceremoniously dumped by the Alabama Crimson Tide Network. He's now doing arena football. I think it's the same arena team that Jeff Fisher is coaching. So it's a pretty interesting duo right there too. Hey, if you have been affected by the tornado in northwest Arkansas and north central Arkansas and you can't get into your house because it's being repaired, maybe think about renting or purchasing an RV from Crabtree RV Center while your home is undergoing repairs. So reach out to Crabtree RV Service. They can also help with any repairs that you need to your existing RV. Just call them at 479-632-0829 or check them out online at crabtreerv.com. Talking with Brett Dolan on Halftime after a quick break.
This is Halftime.
I tell you what, I know this. Got a lot of guys with some big hearts. For 3 hours or however long.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacale, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BLEAV for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you. Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now.
But my answer ain't all that you miss. I want to spread the news that if it feels it's good getting used, oh, you just keep on using me till you use me up.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text on the McLarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
All guests join us on the McLarty Daniel hotline, and with us right now is Brett Dolan. We usually get him on a Thursday. We always appreciate him. Brett almost said we usually appreciate you coming on, but it's 100%. We always appreciate you coming on. Where have your travels taken you today?
Well, I started my day in East Tennessee, but I made it back successfully. American Airlines decided to operate on schedule for a rare change, so I'm back. Good to be back.
All right, good. Thoughts on the passing of Willie Mays, somebody I never got a chance to watch, never came across him, wasn't lucky enough to shake his hand or anything like that, but we all know the story of his life and his career and his impact, greatest living ball player, and your thoughts on Willie?
Yeah, probably the best, probably the greatest player. And, you think about some of the greats, and Babe Ruth was known for being a power hitter, and obviously he pitched and did some other things as well. And Ted Williams was known for being a great average hitter. And then we had others that were known for speed and defense. Willie kind of did it all, and that's probably why he gets so much adulation, and rightfully so. And, Phil, I enjoy kind of going back over some of these articles that people write about him, because I feel like we're reminded something about his career, or we learn something about it. But he was a guy that hit over 300 both at home on the road. He had more than 300 homers at home and on the road. He lost a couple of years in his prime to military service, and who knows how many home runs he might have lost to Candlestick Park and the winds and whatnot, and still put up some of the greatest numbers of all time. So it's kind of sad that it happened so close to the Rickwood game tonight, just because I felt like it would have been a tremendous opportunity to honor Willie, but maybe in a sense it almost enhanced his legacy by giving him kind of a national television platform to remind some of those that didn't get to see him play or didn't get to be around him how good he was.
The couple of the guys he'd mentioned there were not known for what they did in the field, except for Ruth for as a pitcher. And I'm sure he was a fine outfielder. It's just nobody really talks about that. Ted Williams was not known as a good outfielder. In fact, he probably wasn't very good in the outfield. When you talk about Willie Mays, and it's the idea that he's the best power-speed combination of all time, then add in maybe the greatest outfielder of all time, and think about what you just said about Candlestick Park's effect on his hitting. How did he, with the wins in that outfield, just continue to be an amazing center fielder? I mean, just think about the adventures he and any other outfielder at that ballpark had to deal with because of the wind.
And I won't dispute that, but I'll see you a San Francisco ballpark Candlestick, and I'll raise you the Polo Grounds. I mean, that had to be one of the hardest ballparks to play center field because of its incredible dimensions and whatnot. And I mean, I think he won 12 straight Gold Gloves and was probably deserving for each and every one of those. And I like the way you put it, kind of a combination of power and speed, but also a high average guy, but also an incredible defender. And then you mix in the charisma and sort of the flair that he played with that not everybody has, and it's probably why, he was the greatest living player until just a couple of days ago.
Well, and I think that's something that is worth bringing up. You take into account where Willie was born and raised, and the racism that he would have had to grow up around, and the Jim Crow laws of the South and Alabama, and look, there are a lot of players I think that got into the big leagues that were African American and didn't have a chance maybe to play earlier in their careers in the big leagues, or what then were known as the big leagues, because the Negro leagues are now officially major leagues. think of like a Dick Allen, Richie Allen. He was known as being a really dour sort of a person, just not very pleasant to be around. Other guys, just, kind of, they were bitter about that sort of treatment. And I don't think Willie ever was like that. And he wasn't just known for what he did on the field. It's the smile, too. It's the say hey. And I think that's also worth bringing up.
And I think that's why we kind of immortalize some players. I mean, it's in part why we love Babe Ruth, because there was a personality with him in addition to probably being the greatest power hitter. And Willie had the charisma. And I think Ted Kluszewski, the big strapping power hitter for the Reds, had a great line where he said, I don't know what the hell charisma is, but I'm guessing it's Willie Mays, is how he put it. And there was this, not just flair on the field, but I think a joy off the field. And the greatest quote I heard about Willie the other day is he made young kids feel like they were old, and they made old guys feel like they were kids again, just watching his joy and his spirit. And I really didn't get a chance to sit and talk to Willie much, but a couple of times I was able to sit down with Monty Irvin and talk to him about Willie, because Monty was kind of the guy who was his mentor when he got to the big leagues with the Giants, and just ask him about Willie's greatness. And those are memories that I'll always cherish, because those opportunities don't come around very often.
You ever make it to Rickwood? You got the Rickwood Classic in Birmingham tonight. Giants, Cardinals, oldest operating baseball park still in existence in the United States. And they've played one minor league game a year there for, I think like 30 years or so. Never a major league game until tonight. I try to go there every time we go to Hoover for the SEC tournament. It's like a pilgrimage. It is that cool of a place. You ever made it there?
Twice, but I wish I could go for a game, or I had been there for one of those minor league games that you mentioned. A couple of times that I'm driving through, I took my son. Once we got in and walked on the field. Another time they were renovating it, so we just stopped and took some pictures and didn't get inside. But it does kind of feel like a museum, though, doesn't it? Like walking back into time from a baseball standpoint.
Absolutely. Yeah, it really does. And one of the things that always blew me away is that, and maybe you'll be able to tell on the telecast tonight, is that the original dimensions of that ballpark, I don't know how anybody ever hit a ball out of that ballpark. Truthfully, it was like 480 feet to center field. In fact, I think, I might be wrong about this, but I think, and it's kind of ironic how this works out. I'd have to double check about this. But I think Vic Wirtz might have been one of the only players to ever hit a ball over the center field fence there. And, of course, he's famous for hitting the ball that Willie Mays made the famous catch in the 54 series. So, yeah.
That would be something.
That would be, wouldn't it? That would be. Hey, no surprise, Tennessee and A&M in the College World Series finals. I don't know who's going to win this. I sort of lean towards A&M. I like their pitching a little bit better. Where do you go here?
I would probably lean Tennessee, but I certainly wouldn't argue a lot with you. It's funny. I think it was a week ago in this conversation, we were kind of breaking down the brackets, and you said it best, because we were looking at the two teams that could emerge, and we thought A&M was good enough. We were a little bit concerned about some of the injuries, a weekend starter, and certainly one of the best offensive players in baseball. And then we just kind of said, well, Tennessee will win the ACC portion of the bracket, which they did, although that first game was concerning with Florida State. But here they are, and they're right back at it. So I have not been able to watch as much of the College World Series as I would like. I think I will dial in for these 2 or 3 games just because I think it's two really good teams. It's not just two teams that are playing great baseball now, but I think they're really good teams. And I don't know about you, Phil. I had a couple of thoughts at the end of last year on Arkansas's season, and I think this College World Series has helped me kind of put them into perspective. I was wondering if maybe when Arkansas lost the regional, if I was too much of an SEC homer, if I saw things through the SEC teams ranked highly in their players and didn't give the ACC enough credit, or even the Big 12. And then I wondered, too, if maybe after Arkansas's offensive struggles that I felt like, maybe it's the time to reevaluate that you need more of a Kentucky-type approach in not impacting baseballs and thinking about doing damage and home runs. And after watching this play out, the SEC is the best, and I still think the best way to get to the finals is to have great hitters doing damage, and I think it kind of reinforced both of those theories watching these two teams get to this point where they're going to play for a championship.
SEC is 17-3 in the College World Series against any other conference in the last 3 years. Arkansas is a part of that because they have a win over Stanford in that time. So, yeah, it isn't even close. As good as North Carolina, as NC State were, Florida State, Yeah, not even close. And looking at the players that have announced their transfer into the Razorback program, Brett, I think they are trying to rebalance things a little bit more. There's guys in this group. There's 10 position players, 5 out of junior college, 5 from Division I, and I'm sure there's more on the way. There's some that hit for power. There are some that focus more on getting on base, on base percentages over 420. They steal some bases, more walks than strikeouts. The junior college guys, there's a couple of speed guys. There's speed and power guys, too. It really does look like they're trying to rebalance the offense a little bit more. But then when I think about it, I also think that the team that they constructed this last year, I think they tried to do the same thing in some cases. It's just you didn't get the sort of production that was expected from guys that had produced in the SEC previously. So, you can build a team based on what somebody had done the year before. It doesn't always work out that way.
I think you're right. I think there were just a couple of guys who didn't have the years that we maybe anticipated them having based on previous success in this league. Now, having said that, I would agree with you. It feels like Arkansas has gone out and they've almost done exactly what Dave teased or mentioned in his last press conference. They want more athleticism. They want a little different type of player. Now, I will say this. It does feel like most of those guys that have the ability to steal bases and hit doubles also hit home runs. So it feels like they're trying to get guys that can really, again, do damage. You don't have to be a singles hitter with stealing bases, but you do have to kind of hit some doubles, and you do have to be able to hit the ball over the ballpark. So I don't know if it's necessarily them kind of overreacting a lot and changing their entire philosophy, but they do want to get some better players because, no offense whatsoever to this year's team, it just didn't have maybe the caliber of position players or at least the production than they had in previous years when they were making deeper runs. So that's always the challenge for these coaches, to go out and not overreact too much to last year, but also learn something and kind of build a little bit differently. And it does feel like they are kind of taking that approach in a slightly different way.
All right, last thing, we got the draft, the Major League Baseball draft next month. If I had the first overall pick, if it was my choice, I'm going with Jack Caglione. And only for a hitter. I wouldn't want him to pitch. I want a left-handed hitting first baseman who can take a pitch that's outside and drive it over the right field fence, who doesn't swing and miss very much, who can play the position and move around a lot. And I'm not saying Charlie Condon can't do that. Not to say Travis Pizzana is not going to be a star. It just feels weird to take a second baseman first overall. Go ahead and take a first baseman who can rake and set the Florida record for home runs. I'd go with Caglione first overall. What do you think?
I would be intrigued with that. Now, I think what's going to be interesting is it's Cleveland and Cincinnati, so you might have the possibility of a team wanting to do what Baltimore did with Kerstead a couple of years ago, where he was kind of in that 6-7 range, but was willing to take a little less to help out the overall draft dollar figure and be selected second and get that honor. But I'm glad you brought up Caglione, because I mentioned the two things that I felt like it kind of reaffirmed for me in this College World Series. One, the SEC is really good, and B, I think you also need to be able to thump and hit home runs. To me, if I had to ask throw out one other thing, it's that Caglione has to be one of the 3 best players in college baseball. Yeah. I said it when Florida came through, Phil. I mean, DVH walked in 4 times in one game, or one day in 2 games, and one time that they couldn't walk him, he hits a grand slam and wins a game, and without that win, I'm not sure they even get in the darn regionals. He has that much of an impact on baseball. He has to be one of the 3 best players, and I don't know if Hagan got his spot for the Golden Spikes finalist, or maybe Pizzana did instead, so it wasn't an all-SEC range. But this guy impacts games differently than anybody else. Every couple of innings you have to think, when is he coming up? Which pitcher do you want to face him? How do we face him without guys on base? He's that good, and I certainly think he deserves to be in the top 2 or 3 picks in the draft, with the Condon, with the Pizzana, maybe Hagan's in that mix as well, because my goodness, he has kind of a Bonds-type presence over these college games, and quite frankly, Florida would have been nowhere near where they finished without him and his production.
Brett, enjoy these visits. Thank you so much. We'll visit again next week.
See you next week.
All right, Brett Dolan with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Hey, if you're getting out on cold water anytime soon, looking for cold water bass on Beaver Lake, Table Rock, or fishing for a trophy brown on the Mighty White, then the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue is going to help you catch them with that famous rolling action. You'll fish it extremely slow or work it fast in heavy current. The Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue suspends. It stays in the strike zone longer. You'll catch more fish. Find it at lurenet.com and tackle stores everywhere. We'll open the McLarty Daniel hotline as we get into the home stretch of halftime. It's 877-377-6963, and back after this break.
This is halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Splash into summer with a red, white, and blue sale at Burton Pools and Spas. For a limited time, buy an in-ground pool and get a free heater. Save up to $1,500 on Doughboy above-ground pools. Or make a splash with semi-in-ground pools starting at just $200 per month. Get fit at home with an endless pool and enjoy free workout accessories worth $700. Hurry to Burton Pools and Spas in Fort Smith, Springdale, or Greenland. We do more than build pools. We build long-term relationships.
One of my favorite compliments we get here at Red River Ram Dodge Chrysler Jeep is when people talk about our laid-back atmosphere. We call it a family atmosphere, but don't be mistaken. That doesn't mean we're not going to work really hard for your business. That's why I've instructed my team to give 20% more for your trade and up to $5,000 extra. On top of our already discounts, that some of them are double the rebate. So if you want a great deal on a new Ram Dodge Chrysler Jeep, make that beautiful drive or check us out online at redriverdodge.com.
During Make This the Summer event.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Hey, Todd Richardson for Jim. They have several locations in the Arkansas area, but I specifically want to talk to you about Jim Mart number 10. Great deli. My goodness. Great lunch, great dinner. But have you had the breakfast yet? It's the best in town. And they have that convenient drive-through window. So when you're heading north or south on 540, take exit number 6 for Jim Mart number 10. 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith. Jim, the leading gas station and convenience store in the area.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? Come on over to Sharp Equipment today and explore our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Newson dealer and a Cinnabogan authorized service provider. From excavators with the best-in-class breakout force to powerful skid steers, we'll be sure to find the right equipment for you. Stop in Central Hydraulics and see us at Sharp Equipment, located at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-242-1406.
Have you tried the TGI Friday weekday deals? On Monday, they have 50-cent wings, traditional or boneless, 10-piece minimum. Tuesday, cheeseburgers and fries with a fountain drink for $10. On Wednesday, Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta for only $12. On Thursday, enjoy a half a rack of ribs for only $12. Stop by and check out the weekday deals at TGI Fridays, I-540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. In here, it's always Friday.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive, or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Forgive the kids
For they don't know how to live. Run the alleys casually. Cruel. They could take or leave you, so they took you and they left you. How could they be? 'Cause nobody
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Okay, so to recap on some of the news involving Arkansas athletics, at least over the last few hours, baseball's gotten a commitment from Texas Christian outfielder Logan Maxwell. He's the 10th commit to transfer in, 5 junior college, 5 Division I. Maxwell hit .335, 447 on base last year, 3 homers, 12 doubles, 7 more walks than strikeouts, stole 10 bases as well. And you can have a battle for outfield, and who knows if any of the outfielders do come back. I think the only one that really could, you could have Will Edmondson come back. He's not gone into the portal, and maybe Kendall Diggs if he's not drafted, but I know Kendall is at the Major League Baseball draft combine going on right now in Arizona, so he certainly is hoping to get drafted. Arkansas also lost out on lineman Carius Kern from Marion. He is committed to LSU. That happened earlier this morning. And here's an update on the basketball schedule. The Illinois Athletics Director, Josh Whitman, confirmed this morning that Arkansas and Illinois will play on Thanksgiving Day in Kansas City. It'll be broadcast on CBS immediately after the Chicago Bears-Detroit Lions game. So that's about as national as it gets. Middle of the country against Illinois, nationally televised right after an NFL game on Thanksgiving Day. I can get with that. That sounds good.
The Fighting Illini are usually a pretty solid. That's a good matchup. That's a good get. I don't know how long it takes to get opponents, but that's a good litmus test, so to speak. Phil, good early test to see if you're worth anything.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think this is a great matchup, and the city that it's happening. I mean, I've never been inside the Sprint. Well, it used to be the Sprint Center, the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. I've seen it from the outside. That's where the College Basketball Hall of Fame is located. So, I mean, that's tremendous. And this also goes along fairly well with the football game against Missouri 2 days after Thanksgiving, which is just a short drive away from Kansas City. So it looks like we've got our Thanksgiving planned out for us here. Pretty good. I don't have notes on all of the games that we know are confirmed for this next year. I do see an article about this game, so usually at the bottom of the article, they'll let you know what the rest of the games are. I don't find anything about that, but I do know that you've got, who do we have announced in the ACC matchup? That's Miami. We know about Oakland. We know about Michigan in New York at Madison Square Garden, and now we know about Illinois in Kansas City. I mean, Cal said he's looking for national games. I remember him even saying a game on CBS, televised by CBS. And think about that. Like, you're not going to be on CBS otherwise this game, because CBS isn't airing SEC basketball any longer. It's ESPN. So it'll either be this game or when you get to hopefully make the tournament. Here you go. Yeah, the rest of the games. Oakland on December 30th. Miami on December 3rd, but that's in Miami. Michigan on December 10th at Madison Square Garden. And now Illinois in Kansas City Thanksgiving Day. And I don't know what time kickoff of the Lions-Bears game is, but I can find that out pretty soon. Kansas City's worth the trip. I mean, it's a great town to go visit independently of any Razorback athletics, but I'm kind of tickled by the idea of this, and it makes me also wonder, Matt, well, like, what else do they have up their sleeves? If there's another place to play, another out-of-conference program, I mean, they said maybe Dallas, and they never said Kansas City. Did point out New York and Dallas, so I'm kind of waiting for maybe one more big-name opponent, and then otherwise, I think you'll get probably the same sort of opponents that you've had non-conference outside of that. But, I mean, if you're looking at 2 schools out of the Big Ten, Miami, and maybe one more, that's a good non-conference schedule.
Yeah, it's you want to compete, you want to play against teams that have a little cachet themselves, and you spotlight event, a little pressure, be a little difference. You kind of get that environment going, get all the national attention. So it's good to have your brand out there, and I only think this is the start. I think in the next 4 years, Phil, I think they're going back to Maui either next year or the next. That rotates every 4 years or so. So they'll be doing that, and I think there'll be more games to come in the coming years.
The Bears-Lions kick off at 11:30 in the morning Central Time, so I guess you'd be looking for something around like a 3:30 tip-off at the T-Mobile Center. And usually, I mean, you're traveling, like you say Maui. Maui is something you travel for Thanksgiving week. So the Hogs are not going anywhere for Thanksgiving. I don't remember when the deal in San Diego was supposed to take place, but they already pulled out of that. I don't know if that was around Christmas time or if it was Thanksgiving time, but it doesn't look like they're traveling, at anywhere exotic like so many programs do, at least not this year, for Thanksgiving. And that also makes me think, Matt, there might be a home game that weekend.
Did they go to the Bahamas last year? Is that what they did for the Thanksgiving break, or was that the Christmas break?
I think it was Thanksgiving. That's right. It was the Bahamas. That's right. But usually you're not just going to have one game the week of Thanksgiving. Sometimes you play 3 games the week of Thanksgiving in 3 days. So there's got to be another game that they're looking at outside of it. It probably wouldn't be on a Saturday because that's the football game against Missouri. Maybe there's a game for the Sunday after Thanksgiving, and I would assume that would be a game you'd like to play at home. So, again, this it wasn't announced by Arkansas. It hasn't been even announced completely like by the Illinois Athletics Department. It's their athletic director. Mentioned at a meeting this morning that Arkansas and Illinois will play in Kansas City Thanksgiving Day right after the Bears and the Lions. It's pretty cool. It should be a lot of fun. I'd like to go to that ball game, actually. And again, you can do Arkansas basketball on a Thanksgiving Day and then Arkansas football 2 days after, hopefully ending the season with a win over the Missouri Tigers. Hey, you can also win a $2,000 retail fireworks show by going to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. It's brought to you by USA Fireworks. Chris Brewer has the best selection anywhere in the state. Even if you don't win the prize, if you get yourself a wholesale show from USA Fireworks, you're going to entertain everybody on your cul-de-sac like nobody's business. They've been in business more than 30 years, helping Arkansans enjoy the holiday year after year. USA Fireworks can help with all sorts of fundraisers and city functions. Just go to usafireworks.org to learn more. Back to wrap up halftime in just a moment.
This is halftime.
The tailgating scene on a perfect fall day in the natural state. Calling the Hogs with 75,000 plus as the Razorbacks run through the A. And all the things you love about football game days are near. Football season tickets are now on sale for marquee matchups against Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, and longtime rival and new SEC foe, Texas.
Slant, caught, touchdown, Arkansas.
Experience game day on the Hill and secure your seat and tailgating space by visiting ArkansasRazorbacks.com or by calling the Hogs at 800-982-HOGS.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. West Arc Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact West Arc Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drain, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. West Arc Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call West Arc Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
We're going over to the Johnson's yard. You're gonna love it. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet over there.
Well, what about that yard over there?
Oh, we can't go in that yard. You see that yellow sign? That says Mosquito Joe. What do you think, I was born yesterday?
Actually, yeah, we both were.
Don't be a mosquito buffet this year. Call Mosquito Joe for a free quote at 479-202-9960 or visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com. Outside is fun again.
USA Fireworks is a leading firework wholesaler in Arkansas with over 35 years of experience, located in Mulberry, right off 64. They offer an impressive selection of top-of-the-line products from the best brands like World Class, Brothers, Winda, Raccoon, Cutting Edge, and Black Cat, ensuring a spectacular display for every occasion. Whether it's a big city event or just a family gathering, USA Fireworks is dedicated to delivering the best show at the best value. If you're interested in buying a wholesale fireworks show, visit our website, usafireworks.org.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Warning, warning, attention all homeowners. Hi, this is Justin at West Termite Pest and Lawn. It's definitely bug season, and we are priced to earn your business. Licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Call today for a free evaluation, 479-782-7291. West Termite Pest and Lawn, protecting your home, health, and peace of mind.
All services performed with children and pets in mind.
Hello, this is Mike Giacomo at Arvest Bank, inviting you to join us in the fight against hunger during Arvest's 14th annual Million Meals campaign. All the money goes directly to our communities, and there is no amount too small. Even just $1 provides 5 meals to those in need. Now, through the end of the month, you can easily make a monetary contribution at your nearest Arvest branch. You can also donate online at arvest.com/millionmeals. And if you're an Arvest customer, you can go directly to Arvest Go mobile app. Arvest makes no representation that any contribution is tax deductible. Please consult your tax advisor.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I'm back! I'm back! You better! You say it now! You better! And shake the juice, feel better! Say it now!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Okay, so you wonder sometimes how do these non-conference matchups come together, Matt? Well, here's how it happened. One of Cal's top assistants during his time at Kentucky, and a guy that he'd recruited to play at Pitt, Orlando Antigua, is an assistant now at Illinois. I think that's certainly one way that this matchup has been figured out, and it will be the battle of the Ivisic twins. The Razorbacks have Zvonimir, and Illinois has Tomislav Ivisic. They are twin brothers. I did not realize Big Z has a twin brother. Tomislav is 7'1", 230 pounds. He has spent the last 3 years elsewhere, and he same team that Z played for. So we'll have a battle of twin 7'1" Croatians when Arkansas and Illinois meet in Kansas City.
How cool will that be? Phil, I saw that there's a 7'8" guy on the Florida Gators. Did you see this?
I heard about this. I didn't see who it is.
I mean, talk about you can't slide a piece of bread under him when he dunks. You know, his feet barely get. I mean, out of control. 7'8". I don't know how well he moves. It takes you a little bit to grow into your body, I guess. But man, that's a tall one right there.
So I see this now. Oliver Ryu. His last name is spelled Rious. He's Canadian. He is an incoming Florida freshman. Matt, they've got him listed at 7'9".
I was off. He's grown since the show started. That's right. He did another night, another inch.
He is the world's tallest teenager. He's not just the tallest player in college basketball or maybe basketball history. He's the tallest teenager on earth. And he is going to be a freshman for the Florida Gators this next year. That's some Guinness World Record stuff right there.
Florida's got a lot of talent too. Yeah, that's like to see how he moves, see what, 18, 19 years old. I mean, 7'8". That's just
He was 7'5" at the age of 16. He was 6'11" in the 6th grade. He was 6'1" at 8 years old.
Third grader.
Right off
he
the
was
Florida
6'1".
I mean, what do it feel like if you're looking up, you'd be looking down on him? You're 6'6". I'm 5'9". I'd be looking up at an 8-year-old. Wow. So the father is 6'8", the mother is 6'2", his older brother is 6'9", and 6'9" is still a foot shorter than him. I remember you remember watching Manute Bol play, and you'd think, how does he move? How does he actually move like that? And now you get a guy like Wemby, who's 7'4" and doesn't just move up and down the court. I mean, he can handle the ball and he can shoot and everything. And now we've got somebody 7 foot, literally the tallest person on earth, younger than the age of 20. Everybody expects that if you're that tall, you can play basketball. Well, here's one that actually can, I guess. That's pretty wild.
There was an old picture of Manute Bol swimming. And I think Kurt Cobain should have used that for his cover. It was pretty cool.
You would have needed a pair of shorts, though, right?
Well, he had shorts on, but it was he looked like an alligator in there. He looked like he was 12 feet tall in the pool.
Oh, fun halftime today. Appreciate everybody listening. If you missed our interviews, which today we had Bob Holt, we had Danny West, and Brett Dolan. It will be coming up on the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcasts, downloadable anywhere you get your podcasts. Ruskin and Zach are coming up in just a few moments, and we'll be back to wrap up the week tomorrow with an award-winning edition of Halftime. For Matt Jones and for Christian Johnston, the C Unit, I'm Phil Elson. Thanks for listening to Halftime today. Get up, get out, and get better.